Welcome to the greatest drama on Indian television. We promise you a power-packed morning of agony and ecstasy. A morning full of determination and anxiety, failure and success. A culmination to weeks and months of hard work leading to unparalleled jubilation or absolute heartbreak. But above all, we promise you the overarching story of belief, to push the human boundary past the limit to make the unimaginable a reality. Welcome to the largest Indian reality show of emotions involving over 40,000 people. Welcome to the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. Stay on, because this is epic.
It's a beautiful morning in Mumbai as you see some shots of Marine Drive from our camera on top of the Air India building. Welcome to the 12th edition of the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, live on Star Sports. Today on the streets of Mumbai, we're going to witness some of the world's best long-distance athletes going head-to-head, competing to try and win this prestigious race. I'm Nikhil Chinappa, and joining me in studio to take us through this fantastic day's racing is our very own Tim Hutchings. Tim, welcome.
Nikhil, thank you very much indeed. Yes, great to be back in Mumbai once again. I can't believe it's 12 years since the very first one. But of course, what's exciting me, Nikhil, is not only the great racing we've got coming up at elite level, but the masses as well. Numbers bigger than ever. And India gets it, gets running. Mumbai gets it. There's a critical mass, which is now an unstoppable force.
We've got about 40,000 people taking part in this year's Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. But amongst those 40,000 are 6 very special competitors who are vying for the Star Sports Believe Award. That's the Star Sports Believe Award that will be given to one of the 6 contenders by the end of today's broadcast. And of course, we'll be bringing you their stories right through today's broadcast as well. Now, 3 of those Star Sports Believe contenders are actually on the street already because they're taking part in the 42-kilometer full-distance marathon here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. That race got underway at 5:40 this morning. And with them was Paras Tomar, our reporter, who's going to be out on the course the whole day, bringing us stories from the runners on the course. Here's Paras with our first contender of the Believe Award.
All right, let's be the first contender for the Believe Awards. I'm with Jatin. Jatin, how are you feeling this morning?
Fine, very fine.
Jatin's is an incredible story. His doctors asked him to sort of relax, chill, but he wanted to push the very boundaries. He wasn't going to let blood pressure issues get in the way of what he truly wants to achieve. His is an amazing story.
This heart disease started from my family. My father especially, he was taking medicine from the age of 35 to 40. He was taking so much of stress and burden and everything. So at the age of 35, he was suffering from blood pressure. He expired at the age of 60, which was not desirable. Means he was not old and he went. I was very young when he expired, and we have seen him when he was not taking medicine. It was uncontrollable in a way that his temperament was going too much high. It was a struggling life. At the age of 40, 42, I realized that I am going on the same track where my father was. I was so scared with the medicines. I want to basically stop the medication. Gradually started with 10, 15, 17 kilometers. One day my yoga mat, he told me that in the sleep only you won't be able to open your eyes. You should start with medication. After 1 month's time, he gave me in writing to discontinue the medicines, for which I was so happy. Nothing is impossible now. That is what the mind says.
Jatin Shah running here the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon to overcome his problems with blood pressure, which actually is something that a lot of Indians suffer from right across the country. Now here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon a couple of days ago, there was a press conference with a very interesting announcement, Tim, and you were a part of it.
There was indeed, yes. It was a great pleasure to be at the press conference. TCS sponsored the New York Marathon, the biggest in the world, and on Friday they announced that the top 2 Indian men, the top 2 Indian women will be sent to the New York Marathon in November to take part in that, the world's biggest marathon. Huge incentive, great motivation for the Indians. Wonderful to hear about. And of course, they also need to run certain times to make the World Championships in Beijing this summer. It's in August in China. The World Championship standards 2:18 for the Indian men, 2:44 for the ladies. And Lalita Babad, the course record holder for the Indian ladies, believes she can get that mark.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. You're watching the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon live from on Star Sports. And we're talking about the Star Sports Believe Awards, where there's 6 contenders, and we've just seen contender number 1. It's time to see contender number 2.
All right, let's meet the second contender for the Believe Awards. I'm with Suchita. Now, she's the one who is the leader of the pack of the 5-hour bus. All good here?
All good!
The good part about this is that she's leading the team. She's motivating, which is why she is a fantastic contender for the Believe Awards. Here is her incredible story.
We're going to sit.
So I had a series of miscarriages. That was in 1993 to 96. Not knowing why this is happening, so trying to get the diagnosis was traumatic. I realized that what cannot be cured has to be endured, and there is always going to be light at the end of the tunnel, is what I kept telling myself, and that finally did happen, and we got this beautiful child at the end of 4 years. I think it was the most perfect thing because I always wanted a baby girl. When she was in school, she met with this accident. From the time she was admitted into hospital till the time she was discharged, I was completely in that room. And she is definitely my strength. Whatever I can do today, if she was not cooperative and she was not strong and supportive, I would not have been able to do it. Running happened in 2004, post her surgery, and when I started working out, I met this group. I strongly believe that running is nothing but meditation in motion. So I started experiencing that meditative state in running, and that's why I just took it like a fish does to water. A personal goal would definitely be Comrades. Definitely want to do the Comrades. Yeah, it's on my bucket list for sure.
Running is nothing but meditation and motion, says Suchita with a very big smile. Now, here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, we've got a fantastic lineup of events. Let's take you through that right now. The amateur race started off at 5:40 in the morning when it was still dark, and after that the half marathon kicked off from across the other side of Mumbai at 6 o'clock in the morning. The elite marathon is on its way in just a few minutes at 7:20 in the morning, and then there's the champions with disability at 7:35. The senior citizens run at 8 o'clock, and of course the run where all of Mumbai comes out in its costumes, the dream run at 9 o'clock in the morning. Now let's see what they're running for. A lot of money there, isn't it, Tim?
Big prize money by any standards, yes. That is the same prize money for men and women for the elite athletes. They're down to 10th place. That's nearly $250,000 for the internationals. For the Indians, of course, there's the rupees as well. 5 lakh there for the Indians, and first place down to 10th place. Great incentive for the Indians, best.
That's not chump change. There's a lot of money to run for here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. Now, talking about the Believe Awards once again, here's our third contender with Paras.
All right, let's meet the third contender for the Believe Awards. I'm with Manjinder Singh Dello, who is an inspirational man. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm fine.
You know, his is an incredible story. It's an incredible journey. He has not let his visual disability get in the way of what he really truly can be and what he truly can achieve. You will love his story.
I'm very organized, honest, hardworking and punctual in whatever I do in my life. I don't disclose anything about my disability in my resume. The only reason is that gives me a better chance to be interviewed. There has been few instances, where I have been called, and when I go there, they said the person is not there, or maybe they'll call you later on. But it never happens. No reason was given at all. That for why I have been not selected or why I have been rejected as such. I mentioned in my resume that I have ran 9 marathons consecutively. I believe that once I have run 9 marathons, I can achieve anything in my life and do all the tasks which a normal person can do. And I can do it in much better way in some areas. Even if I do cornea replacement or maybe retina replacement, it won't improve my vision as such. The nerve which is connecting from brain to the eye, At that point of birth, it was totally dried out. It is a curse. I ran to channelize my anger, frustration and sadness, which I get due to discrimination.
Manjinder Singh Dhillon running to overcome disability. Some fantastic stories there for our Believe Awards, aren't there, Tim?
Oh, it is. It's so inspirational. You know, it's tough enough to run a marathon, Nikhil. It's very tough to run a marathon. They've got a double challenge, of course, these athletes with the challenges, physical challenges. So it makes you realise how lucky you are.
Well, time for us to take a short break here on the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, but make sure that you stick around because when we come back, we're talking about some of the course records that were set here in Mumbai over the years. Big day here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. Let's shift our focus to the elite race, which is going to start in a few minutes, and take a look at some of the course records here in Mumbai.
2013, Jackson Kiprop from Uganda shatters the course record set by Girma Asefa by a stunning 22 seconds. In the Indian field, Ram Singh Yadav continues to reign supreme with no one even close enough to challenge his 2:16.59 finish. Could the record stumble this year at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon?
Well, the records can indeed tumble, but it'll be a tough one. You can see how the times have improved over the years. The current record, 2:09.32 from 2 years ago. Several athletes have gone a lot faster than that. The Indian men's record, well, that time of Ram Singh Yadav got them into the Olympics in 2012. That is very fast indeed, 2:16. Well, we can also take a look at how the ladies' records have been set over the last couple of years. They're tough as well.
2013, Kenyan Valentine Kipketer sets the new course record and the new benchmark for excellence in the international women's field at 2:24.33. 2014 witnesses Lalita Babbar set the course record in the Indian women's field, clocking a time that is by far the best at the event. The records may just tumble again this year.
Well, the ladies' records are very tough as well, particularly that elite women's 2:24. That may be beyond them this morning, even though the temperature outside looks good. And the ladies' Indian record, 2:50. That is certainly a time that can be beaten. Babar is especially confident. Well, let's go down to the start line where the elite athletes are going to get underway very, very shortly, in just a few minutes' time. And Hugo de Souza is going to introduce the top names to the crowd.
Now time to meet some of the stars among the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon 2015 Elite Athletes Men. In bib number 1 from Kenya, Evans Ruto. He's the defending champion, having finished an incredible time of 2 hours, 33 minutes, 9 seconds last year. Evans Ruto. Wearing bib number 2, Henry Sugut, one of the new young guns from Kenya. He comes here hungry to take the title and has a personal best of 2 hours, 6 minutes, 58 seconds. Henry Sugut. Also a big cheer for bib number 3, Jacob Jashari of Kenya, the runner-up here in 2013. He will be aiming to go one better this time with the title, Jacob Jashari. And now to the Indian Marathon Elite Athletes. Wearing bib number 101 is the defending champion, Karan Singh. He clocked a personal best of 2 hours, 22 minutes, 30 seconds at Eindhoven earlier this year. Karan Singh. Perhaps his greatest rival is Ram Singh Yadav in bib number 102, a multiple winner and the course record holder. His best time is 2 hours, 16 minutes, 59 seconds, which he recorded here in 2012. Ram Singh Yadav.
Take a look now at the top names there. Evans Ruto, one of 8 men who have broken 2:10, the 2:10 barrier. The Kenyans dominate though. The Debele would love to get in amongst them. It's going to be a real ding-dong between those top names. and Singh Yadav. Well, he didn't run last year. He was out injured, so he'll be very, very hungry to get back that title back this year. Karan Singh, the defending champion, will put up a stout defence. And the belief is that 4 or 5 Indian men this year could go under 220, and that would be real progress. Well, the ladies are out there on the start line too. They're ready to get underway.
Before you is arguably the best women's field ever assembled for this event. Wearing bib number 51, the reigning champion, Dinknesh Mekash of Ethiopia. She won this race in 2 hours, 25 minutes 09. Many believe she is the one to beat this year. Dinknesh Mekash. In bib number 52, please welcome Martha Merga of Ethiopia. She's returned to the streets of Mumbai after making a debut here in 2013. She has run 5 marathons since and seems ready to better her result. Martha Merga. Another one to watch out for is Gladys Kipsoy, bib number 53. Gladys won the silver here last year and will be hoping to start 2015 at the top of the podium. Gladys Kipsoy. And now to introduce the Indian Women Elite. In bib number 151 is Lalita Baba. She is the defending champion, winning here last year and is in great form. Lalita Baba. In bib number 152 is a true champion, Sudha Singh. She has won gold for India in the steeplechase at the Asian Games, Guangzhou, China. A regular podium finisher for the half marathon. She will be attempting the full marathon for the first time. Sudha Singh.
Well, we can take a look at the elite women now. Dinknesh Mekash is a couple of minutes quicker than anybody else in the field. She's the defending champion. She is very much the favourite. And, of course, the top Indian ladies. Well, Lalita Baba is the champion, but Sudha Singh is a real talent, making her debut. It'll be very interesting to see how well she can go in her first one. Well, there's about 15 seconds until the athletes get underway here in Mumbai. The sun is up. The temperatures are low this morning. 7:20 local time. Conditions just about perfect on this quick course. And away they go. 42.2 kilometres of hard racing lies ahead of them. The temperature does climb here pretty quickly in the mornings after about 9:30, 10 o'clock. But if the men run 2:10, well, they'll finish at what? 9:30 in the morning, I suppose. So that it should mean the temperatures stay low. Anything up to about 20 degrees centigrade is manageable, Nikhil. If it gets so much warmer than that, then they will be struggling through the latter stages. The ladies, of course, will be out there for a little bit longer, and they will experience the higher temperatures. But this is a quick course.
There you see some of our dignitaries. There's the race ambassador, John Abraham, who's here to flag off some of our dignitaries. As we take a look at the course map, it's largely a very flat course. There's a small incline around Pedder Road at the Pedder Road flyover, but that's the only incline. Doesn't really bother people too much having a little incline along the course, does it, Tim?
No, as long as it's not steep. If it's gentle, it's okay.
The course passes through some of the best parts of Mumbai and hugs the coastline as well. Starts off at the Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus and takes a couple of quick turns, a few U-turns. That should slow people down a little bit before he gets on the Marine Drive, doesn't it, Tim?
They're gentle turns, those, though. You know, they're wide turns. Hugh Jones, the race director, has devised the turns so they don't hinder the athletes.
The course then makes its way around Haji Ali before getting onto Worli Sea Face. And there's a beautiful run along the Mumbai Sea Link all the way up to Bandra. It skirts the edge of Bandra before it comes back then along the same line.
And the course has improved over the years. That's why it's got quicker and quicker.
There's lots of action unfolding on today's Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. It's the 12th edition coming to you live on Star Sports. We're going to take a short break, but come back for more action from Mumbai. Welcome back to the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, coming to you live on Star Sports. I'm Nikhil Chanappa, and the elite race has just kicked off at 7:20 in the morning with both the international men and, of course, the Indian men taking off, as we see some pictures of the women going around the course.
Well, they've been going for just about 5 minutes now, Nikhil. The defending champion there in the purple, in the centre of that little group of women on the left there is Dinknesh Mekash. She is, to my reckoning, a very strong favourite. But I'm looking out in particular for Radia Adilo, also of Ethiopia, who has said she wants to go out very fast at her personal best pace. Adilo wears 24. 22 there. That's Marta Merga, who was 6th in 2013. And there is Dignesh Mekash, the 30-year-old champion, 2:25.09. That is her best ever time set last year. And she's quietly confident. Merga of Ethiopia, also 25-year-old. She's run 2:28.02. She certainly looks as though she's capable of going quicker than that. She's very experienced. And then Gladys Kipsoi, I had a long chat with her a couple of days ago. Her personal best, 2:29.53. But she's capable of a lot quicker. Well, Gladys Kipsoi is one Kenyan up against the top 4 or 5 Ethiopians. There she is in the yellow, just gone out of shot. Is Gladys Kipsoi. There she goes. Just hanging on to the back of that group of Ethiopians. But 6 minutes on the clock. It's early days yet. They need to be running for 2:25. They need to be running about 3:27 per kilometre. While the lead men, of course, are tanking along at a much quicker tempo. They will need to be running at around 3:03, 3:04 per kilometre to hit that 2:09 territory. And it does look quick, doesn't it? A real marked contrast with the pace that the ladies are moving at. It's breaking up very quickly indeed. They're looking to go out to halfway in about 64 and a half minutes. Well, there's Evans Ruto. Ruto, of course, the defending champion. Made his debut here back in 2008 when he was 7th, so he's got good form at this race. Henry Sugut, the 3 times Vienna winner, had a great year in 2013. He's often a pacemaker, doesn't mind front running, but he's very much here for his own good. He's the quickest in the race on paper. And Luke Kibet, the world champion back in 2007 in a hot and steamy Osaka. He'll like the conditions.
We've spoken of the pacemakers as well, Sim, and in fact, the men's team have got 5 pacemakers. Is that right this time?
There are 5 pacemakers out there, yes. And just look, number 51 there, Michael Mutai. He's due to take them out, the 32-year-old, to about halfway. Indeed, there's supposed to be 3 pacemakers taking them to halfway, and about 64, 64.20, something like that. And then 2 more athletes, Edwin Kiptu and Philemon Yator, will take them through. They were hoping to around 32, 33 kilometres, and that would set it up really well.
Is there a reason we've got 5 pacemakers? Because normally you have 2, or maybe 3.
No, many races nowadays have groups of pacemakers, have 4, 5, 6, 7, even Berlin. They have almost a wall of pacemakers protecting the lead athletes.
As the athletes just go around the Oberoi turn, they're going to take another quick U-turn and then go back onto Marine Drive.
Well, we can take a quick look now perhaps at the Indian men, who of course are a little way behind the international men. But it is a strong group. We're expecting quite a few Indians to threaten sub-220 territory, and in a developing distance running nation, that is still good running. Just looking at numbers there, that's 1:05. That's Rashpal Singh. He's only a 2:24 runner, so he's gone out very confidently indeed. In fact, his personal best is 2:21. He ran 2:24 last year at this race. But that's confident running from him. He's having to make the pace himself. No pacemakers for these Indians, of course. What, a minute or so down on the elite Kenyans and Ethiopians already.
The Indians will be used to the weather conditions here in Mumbai, but having said that, it's still quite a cool morning here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. The temperature's hovering somewhere around 20 degrees, and that should benefit most of the runners, shouldn't it, Tim?
Yes, it should, yeah. I mean, the Kenyans, of course, are used to warm weather. It's quite a hot climate in Kenya. It's a drier heat than you get here in Mumbai, where the humidity can be a real disadvantage. And as I said earlier, if the temperature starts climbing into the low 20s, even anything beyond about 22, 23 degrees centigrade will make it much tougher.
What's the ideal temperature to run distance running?
The ideal temperature is about 8 to 10 degrees. You know, when they started the Berlin Marathon and set the world record last September, Dennis Kimetto, I think it was only about 7 or 8 degrees on race morning. It was quite cold, in fact. You know, it was almost coats cold. But that's brilliant for distance runners.
You can see that these athletes are motoring along at quite a pace. Tim, what's the average speed that they run at for the entire distance of this race? Is it around 20 kilometers an hour?
Well, it's about 20 kilometers an hour. It's very simple mathematics, isn't it? They're trying to break 2 hours eventually one day, people believe. But the world record is just inside 2:03 now. And they cover 42 kilometers in that. It's almost exactly 20 kilometers an hour, yeah.
Well, there you see the speed at the bottom of the screen. They're running at 22.48 right now, which is faster than most auto rickshaws go in Mumbai, I can tell you that.
Well, that tells me they've gone out very quickly indeed, 22 kilometres an hour, almost too quick. But maybe they're enjoying the conditions there, and while it's very cool, they're trying to get the good running under their belts. Most of the big marathon runners these days actually run negative splits. They make the second half faster than the first half, but it might be they'll do the opposite here today. Well, Tesfaye Eberede, the tall Ethiopian 22-year-old, making his debut. In fact, there are 4 very strong runners making debuts here today, making their debuts. In particular, Silas Kipruto, the 30-year-old Kenyan, ran a very exciting debut for the half marathon not long ago, 59 minutes. And there's a lot of athletes who go under the hour for the half marathon nowadays. But once you've done that, then it suggests you've got enormous potential at the marathon.
We're watching some incredible pictures coming to you live from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon in Mumbai on Star Sports. We've got our Believe contenders and the stories we've been showing to you since the beginning of the broadcast. They're in contention for the Star Sports Believe Award. We've shown you 3 contenders so far, and it's time now to look at our 4th.
Sweet 16, they call it. A time of good memories, that first step into adulthood. The feeling that the whole world is your oyster. But for Sunita Sancheti, the world came crashing down after that one visit to the doctor.
It was a benign tumor. It was just collection of few cells, and it had formed into a tumor. It was nothing, just numbness in the leg again. And when I used to walk, because the blood flow was like not proper, my slippers used to slip off from my leg. The surgery was nothing like a major one, only the tumor had to be removed. The medical negligence that was caused was due to the injection that was given in a wrong nerve. So because of that, I got spine injury, and that was a medical negligence.
Despite the medical negligence that changed her life forever, surprisingly, Sunita is not bitter. Nor does she see it as a curse to be confined to a wheelchair. She sees it as an opportunity to reach out to able-bodied people and emphasize the need for equal treatment for the disabled. Something that has led her to champion the cause of spinal injury.
A mother and a child had come to visit. After their shopping, they were also waiting for the elevator, and even I was waiting. As soon as I reached the elevator, the kid saw me and he was telling his mama, "Mama, meko bhi aisi chahiye, meko bhi usme baith ke ghumna hai, mere paँव nahi dukhenge." The mom got agitated. She was, "ऐसी गंदी चीज़ क्यों मांग रहा है? तेको कुछ समझता नहीं है." I felt like telling her कि please don't tell him that it is something which is dirty. Please tell him that this is due to medical reasons. Make him understand that this can happen to anyone. We want to be part of each and every place with our own dignity. So I think accessibility is the key for each and everything.
Morning, I have Sunita with me. Sunita, are you all ready?
Yes, all set to fly.
Tell me, what prompted you first to run the marathon?
Actually, we want a very inclusive society, nothing about us, without us. So I think we are part of Mumbai and part of the marathon.
Is there a cause that you are supporting here?
Yes, we are working on accessibility and rights of people with disability. So I'm here to support the cause.
And any foundations that you're supporting?
Yes, I'm with ADAPT and Nina Foundation.
Okay, one last message that you would like to give to everyone who's not running.
Please run for Mumbai Marathon, and not only that, be a part of accessibility for people with disability, whether it is an accessible place or an accessible transport. Include us in everything.
Well, thank you, Sunita, and all the best. Run well, okay? Thank you, and back to the studio.
Thank you. Sunita Sancheti's really moving story, and as you see, pictures of the start-finish line with our dignitaries waiting to flag off the Champions with Disability race here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. We've got lots of different events. Don't forget, the amateur marathon kicked off at 5:40 this morning when it was still dark here in Mumbai, followed by the half marathon, then the elite race at 7:20. The elite have been running for about 20 minutes now, and we're just about waiting for the Champions with Disability to kick off here at 7:35 this morning. They're all lining up. There's lots of enthusiasm amongst them. Tim?
There's lots of enthusiasm, and these are the people who get the most admiration from me, Nikhil. It's a 2.4-kilometre course. That's only about a mile and a half, but it's actually about participating. You know, at least they're out there doing it, and it almost puts to shame people who are sitting at home with perfectly sound legs and bodies and watching it on TV, I guess. Everybody should get involved, be part of it.
It's a fantastic Sunday morning for them as well. You can see the enthusiasm amongst them, and they're all just happy to be here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, and of course, they're here to take part in this fantastic event this Sunday in Mumbai. It's time for us to take a short little break now on from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. We're going to be coming back to you with lots more action right after this. Make sure that you stay right where you are. Welcome back. You're still watching the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon here in Mumbai, and we are very fortunate to have with us our event ambassador, Marion Bartoli. We're going to be bringing her into the studio in just a while, but in the meantime, let's take a look at what Marion's all about. Before that, here's Indian athlete Sudha Singh. She's taking part of the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon today. She's from Raebareli, and she's actually debuting this year at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. She's also won the gold in the steeplechase event at the Guangzhou Asian Games, and we're looking forward to her getting a solid timing here, the 2015 Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. And joining us in the studio right now, Marion, welcome.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you here.
Thank
One
you.
of the questions I wanted to ask you was running a part of your training schedule when you were playing tennis? Was it an integral part of it?
It was a part, but it was more about sprint and interval training because tennis, obviously, we play some very short points, so we have to be able to reproduce, intensity work, but for a long period of time, but really a short period each one. So it was more 20-second sprints probably, and then 20 seconds off and do it again and again and again.
Okay.
But I did run 3 marathons last year based on that training only. So I think my base was still quite good. Obviously, we need to keep our muscle to be explosive. So, it's a balance between being able to be endurant, but as well as explosive.
Wow, I'm a bit of an amateur. I'm going to have to bring Tim in on this. Is it usual for somebody to have sprint training and then run a marathon after that?
It's not a bad combination of fitness to have. Yeah, I mean, tennis is actually a bit of a contradiction because you need that power and explosive speed to move around the court. But actually then, you have matches that last 1-2 hours, or in the men's case, 3 or 4 hours, and that's a very difficult contrast of different types of fitness.
Okay, Marion, how's India been treating you so far? Have you had a good time so far in Mumbai?
I had an amazing time. I've been in India before for playing some tennis tournament, and unfortunately the tennis schedule doesn't really allow you to get around the cities because we have to practice, we have to play the matches. It's pretty stressful as well, and as soon as the tournament is over, we have to fly to another city. But this time, a completely different experience.
We can see you've got a big smile on your face,
yes,
so you must have seen a little bit of...
I absolutely adore it, and I will be back for sure. Hopefully, during the course of this year, just for vacation, and next year maybe to run the marathon myself.
Okay, now you've already spoken about running 3 marathons. What does marathon running mean to you?
I did for a charity, and it was just great for me to do something in sports that doesn't involve to beat someone. All my life, all I knew was to be on the tennis court and I had to beat my opponent on the other side of the net. This time, I felt really it was about a getting together event and doing something completely outside of my own discipline, obviously. But really to push myself and to push my limits towards a greater cause, which was, the charity and the money we have been able to raise. So, overall, it was just an amazing experience. We did it for once. Now the Strive Challenge, because it was called Strive, is not over. We're going to go around the world. So we did UK towards Switzerland, and our plan is to go around the world. And if we get too old to finish it, our children, we basically took over us. And
here what we have is something called the Believe Awards, and we've already seen 4 of our contenders. But let's take a look at the Believe Award contenders that we've seen so far. This is Jatin Shah, who's a distance runner who's been running to combat issues with blood pressure. Suchita Varadkar, who is now running the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon as part of the 5-hour bus. And Manjinder Singh Dhillon, who's running to eradicate discrimination against disability. Sunita Sancheti, who we've just seen take off at the Champions with Disability race. And now it's time for us to take a look at our 5th contender here at the Star Sports Believe Award.
Goldie Singh drives a taxi for a living. He has battled obesity all his adult life. But one summer in 2012, he decided that enough was enough.
2012 में दिवाकर सर थे जो, वो मेरे एक्चुअली कस्टमर है और मैं टैक्सी चलाता तो उन्होंने मुझे कॉल किया कि हम लोग को सुबह जाना है, कि हम लोग को रेस करनी है। बोले तो आप हमारे साथ साथ में गाड़ी चलाओगे तो हम लोग दौड़ेंगे। दौड़ते हुए गए, बीच बीच में रनिंग रुक रुक के, तो उन्होंने अपने पानी तावेल सब अपनी बॉटल्स गाड़ी में रखी हुई थी मेरी, तो 4 किलोमीटर 5 किलोमीटर पे थोड़ा वो पानी और तावेल लेके निकल लेते थे।
I have a disc prolapse. When I used to run, he used to keep asking me, why do you run? So I said, forget the unearthly hours that I take you out. You need to experience running. You start running and then you know why I run.
दिवाकर सर ने मुझे बोला कि मुझे कमर में प्रॉब्लम है, उनकी कुछ हड्डी में कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, तो मैं वही देखा कि ये तो इनको हड्डी में प्रॉब्लम है तो ये दौड़ सकते, मुझे स्टोन है तो मैं क्यों नहीं दौड़ सकता हूँ। जैसे बॉडी मेरी कम हुई तो मेरा स्टोन भी बाहर हो गया।
Inspired by Divakar, Goldie trained religiously. He lost over 20 kilos in the process. Perhaps the greatest incident that speaks of his love of the sport came in 2013 when he ran the standard chartered Mumbai half marathon course without a bib or any registration.
कितने किलोमीटर मेरी गाड़ी ने किए हैं रनिंग के, तो वो हिसाब से मेरा वादा है कि मैं भी अपने पैरों से उतना किलोमीटर का रनिंग करूँगा।
Not only did Goldie transform himself, he also changed the way people perceived him, proving that no matter how hard the road, a fit lifestyle is attainable.
It's an inspirational story there of Goldie Singh, and we're going to go across to Poppy right now, who has somebody from Goldie's family with her. Poppy.
Singh, who's unlike the actor and he's very, very shy. Ranveer, आप भागते हो? हाँ. आप पापा के जैसे भागोगे? हाँ. अच्छा, आपके पापा कब भागते हैं? मतलब कब ट्रेनिंग करते हैं? सुबह. सुबह जब आप सो रहे होते हो, कभी गए आप उनके साथ भागने के लिए? हाँ. आपको अच्छा लगता है वो भागते हैं तो? हाँ. कौन सी क्लास में आप? Second standard. I think Ranveer is also going to take up running like his father. So let's see when he finishes. Thank you. Back to the studio.
Thank you very much, Poppy. That's a really sweet story, and the sun's waiting for Goldie Singh to come across the finish line. Marion, thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sure we're going to see you once again, and you've got lots of things to do at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon.
Thank you for inviting me.
Our pleasure. Have a good time.
Thank you.
Well, we can go back to the elite race now, and you can see the Ethiopian and Kenyan women moving at a very, very crisp pace, and just waiting for a split to give us an indication of how fast they are going. It looks, to my way of thinking, as a relatively conservative pace at the moment. 22 there, Marta Megra is a 2:28 performer, and I'd be surprised if she's going at that speed just yet. She's far more experienced now than when she ran in 2013 here, 2 years ago, which was her debut. But Megra there, looking very, very relaxed indeed. And it almost appears to me as though nobody really wants to commit. They do have their own pacemakers, these ladies, a couple of good pacemakers out there, male pacemakers, to help them along. But that pace looks pretty gentle to me right now. Well, 16 kilometers an hour they're moving at. And we can take a look now at the men, the elite men, and how well they're going. And as you can see, still a big pack, a much bigger pack on the men's side. Number 14 there, that's an interesting debutant, the Moroccan 27-year-old Fatih. He's got good track pedigree, 13:12 for 5,000 and 28:33 for 10,000, but he's never even run a half marathon, never mind about a full marathon. In red there's Fatih, the Moroccan. That pace looks to me as though it's settled down a fair bit too. We'll bring you splits as soon as we can. They've been moving now for nearly 27 minutes, so they're, about 3 minutes away from the 10-kilometer point. But that's a good big pack, and that suggests positive things, because it means they will be helping each other through these middle stages of the race that they're approaching.
They've just got to that part of the race where they're going over a small incline, the Pedder Road flyover. As we see images of one of the more prominent runners in India finishing his half marathon. That's Mr. Anil Ambani. Very focused, very determined stride. And there's his lovely wife waiting for him to come across the finish line as well.
Actually, that's admirable when you look at what an important businessman he is, what a busy life he must have to maintain that level of fitness. Because he's moving really well. Maybe he's just picked it up in the last couple of kilometres, but he is moving well. Very focused too, isn't he? I guess he's listening to his own brand of music, his own little makeup.
I'm actually curious what he's listening to. I'm curious to know what his musical tastes are and what he uses to run, especially distances like the half marathon.
Well, and he's finished with plenty in hand too as well. He's not out on his feet, is he? There's more to come from Mr. Ambani. Good running.
We've got lots of significant people from the film and movie industry taking part in the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon as well, and of course industrialists as well. We've also got my boss, who's the head of Viacom 18, Mr. Sudhanshu Vats, who's taking part in this year's Mumbai Marathon. He's quite a distance runner himself. And we'll go to more on that later. But right now, let's take a short break from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon here on Star Sports. Throughout today's broadcast of the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, we're also going to be bringing you some stories of top Indian athletes who've come through the ranks over the years. And of course, there's Nitendra Singh Rawat, who's 28 years old from Pune in Maharashtra. He believes in Kula Devata and wears 2 lockets that he kisses before the start of every marathon for good luck. Lots of stories like these will be brought up throughout the course of today's race here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon as we bring you all the action live on Star Sports. Now, the elite men and women's race kicked off at 7:20 in the morning and they're well on their way across the course. The last pictures that we saw were of the men going across the Pedder Road flyover, where there's a little bit of an incline. They go a little bit up and down, and we're going to go back to some pictures of those athletes very quickly. In the meantime, Tim, one of the things that I always wondered about is the amount of energy that these athletes consume during the race. Do they stock up in the morning before the race, or do they eat, for the previous 2 days?
It varies. I think what people do is they tend to just eat a lot more energy, a lot more food, carbohydrates in the last couple of days. There was a theory a few years ago where you would deplete yourself. You wouldn't eat potatoes, rice, bread, that sort of thing for a couple of days, and then at the last minute so your body was screaming for it, and in the last minute you would pour in the potatoes, the carbohydrates, and the rice and pasta. Nowadays they think the depletion is too mentally it's tough. So no, you just eat an awful lot in the last couple of days.
So when people are training for a full marathon, do they run the entire distance like once or twice a week, or do they run the full distance?
No, they very rarely would run the full distance of a marathon in training. They will do a lot of runs of about an hour and a half duration. Their long Sunday run probably be about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, but at a slower pace, of course, than a marathon. But I was talking to some of the Kenyans last night, and they were saying most of them train about 2 hours running a day. They like to do about an hour and a quarter in the morning. That's their hard session, their hard run, and then in the evenings or the afternoons, they will do about 40 minutes just to top it up to 2 hours.
And besides the training that they do they also do weight training in a gym? Is rest very important? Is sleep very important?
A lot of them do conditioning, yes, gym work, body conditioning, and sleep is absolutely vital. I mean, we all should be getting about 8 hours sleep. That's normal. These guys are sleeping 10, 12 hours a day. It's hugely important for obvious reasons.
Now, you've been a part of the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon since its inception 12 years ago. You're in its 12th edition. You've come here every year. And what's it been like for you? How have you seen the race develop?
The course has got quicker. The organisation on the course has got much, much better. The numbers have increased dramatically year on year. And there you can see the splits from this morning's race just to break off. And Michael Mutai, one of the pacemakers, and Kiptu 32.07 there. And that 32.8. So it's a big pack, as you can see. That's at least 9 athletes in that lead pack at 10.5 kilometres. So take off about a minute and a half for that. So to get to the 10-kilometre split. So they were just outside 30 minutes at 10K. They're moving at a good, steady pace.
That's good to know. Now, right now, we've got Poppy down below, who's got some guests with her for an interview. Poppy, who do you have?
Well, I have 2 senior citizens with me. One is 75 years of age and the other one is 63. Let's speak to them. Sir, आप पहली बार भाग रहे हैं?
मैं 12 बार 12th
12वीं बार भाग रहे हैं. आपको सबसे पहली बार किस चीज ने प्रोत्साहन दिया भागने का?
उसमें तीना अंबानी से हार्मोनी ग्रुप.
अंबानी ग्रुप से. आप किसी कॉज के लिए भाग रहे हैं या बस अपनी फिटनेस के लिए?
फन के लिए.
फन के लिए भाग रहे हैं. Sir, what about you? You've been running for how long now?
First time only.
First time. आपने ट्रेनिंग करी है?
ट्रेनिंग किया है, ट्रेनिंग किया.
तो मतलब कितना भागते हैं आप? कितनी ट्रेनिंग करते हैं?
उसका 4.5-5 किलोमीटर रोज.
4.5-5 किलोमीटर.
Well,
मॉर्निंग वॉक भी कर जाते हैं.
मॉर्निंग वॉक भी करते हैं और भागते भी हैं. Well, thank you very much. Back to the studio.
Thank you very much, Poppy. We're looking forward to this one, the start of the senior citizens race that kicks off at 8 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to see a sea of yellow and smiling, happy faces. And mind you, not all of these senior citizens will be running. It's their time to just get out and enjoy the morning over here in Mumbai and, of course, take part in this fantastic event, the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. Now, there we are, back with the elite men's pack. Tim, what's going on?
Well, I estimate they went through 10 kilometres, just having a look at the splits again, in about 30 and a half minutes. So they're on schedule almost exactly, Nikhil, for about 2 hours, 9 minutes, which would be course record tempo. So it was indeed quick through those early kilometres. There's a slight drop from the start in the city centre down to the coast about a mile away. That was why it looked so quick early on. But they settled down to a really, really steady, solid tempo. And a course record is on at the moment.
That's good to know. Temperatures in Mumbai will start to climb after about 8:30 in the morning once the sun comes up. And you've been talking about how the athletes seem to have taken off faster in the morning. And do you think they'll slow down over the second half of the race?
It might settle down in the middle of the race. I hope it doesn't become a tactical affair. The senior citizens run about to get underway back in the city centre. And this is always another one that's really, really good to see. And again, for this age group, it's about taking part. It doesn't matter how fast you go. They're not looking for speed. They're looking for participation.
Who are up down the stand or in the grandstands cheering our seniors as they set off in just about 3 minutes from now.
Well, really good crowds there. And this is the one where you see probably more smiles than in any other. I think they're all just celebrating life.
Absolutely.
In their twilight years, but you wouldn't know it. Half of them look absolutely fantastic once they get moving, and enthusiasm is almost tangible.
And it's also probably the only place in the world where you'll see women competing in saris, which is a bit unusual for
yes.
a Mumbai marathon. But it's fantastic. You see couples taking part together, and actually I've got some statistics. The oldest person taking part in the senior citizen run is 97 years old. That's exceptional.
It's better than exceptional. It's extraordinary. I don't know how athletes or how these people retain their health to that age, long after most people have met their maker. Brilliant stuff.
There we see Mr. Anil Ambani, who's made his way up to the dignitary stand. He's just finished the half marathon, and like you said, it looks like he's got a lot left in him because he's smiling. He looks very happy. And Poppy's got someone with her as well. Poppy, who do you have?
I have so many people who are so excited to speak on TV. I love Radio Mirchi. I want to stand fast. Well, there's so many people that I can literally not say anything. They're so excited. Well, that's the spirit of Mumbai.
Well, it looks like hogging the camera isn't just a teenage fixation.
Well, I was going to say, they say don't work with kids and animals. Maybe you should add pensioners to that as well.
Our dignitaries there include Ayushmann Khurrana, who's a colleague of mine from MTV. He's taken to Bollywood and he's doing extremely well. He's got a movie coming out very shortly. And I think we're just about a minute and a half away from the start of the senior citizens race. We've got some fantastic pictures of the buildings in the background. There's the BMC building in the background there, as we have a camera in our dignitaries box as well, which overlooks the start-finish line at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon.
Yeah, that senior citizens run, Nikhil, just 4.3 kilometres, so what, about 2.5, 2 3/4 miles. Numbers very, very consistent, about 1,300 last year, about 1,200 this year. The biggest change in the entry numbers of any event this year is the marathon, which has gone up dramatically from 3,700 to 4,300 for the full marathon. In this climate, that's great progress. It's really good to see people progressing through from half marathons through to the full marathon.
That's fantastic. In a year, there's been about 600 people that have increased, and they're taking part in the full marathon, and that's fantastic. Poppy's got somebody else with her. She's very busy. Poppy, who do you have?
Senior citizens again. What cause are you guys running for?
What is the cause you are running?
What is the cause?
They're running for positive aging.
Positive aging.
To remain young as long as possible.
Whoa, positive aging, remaining young as long as possible.
That's right. Yeah.
Do you guys run otherwise?
We do sometimes, but not as much as we expect today. At least to make a brisk walk.
Well, all the best and keep running, all of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's the first time I've heard that expression, positive aging, as we see we're just about ready for the start, and off they go. That's more enthusiasm than I'd expected, Tim.
That looked almost violent, didn't it? Usain Bolt, take a step back.
Some fantastic pictures here from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. A sea of yellow taking off the senior citizens run, and he's off at a very healthy pace.
Whatever he had for breakfast, I want some. I'm telling you, look at that. I'm going to remember to turn left when he gets down to the seafront.
Most of the senior citizens will be taking part in more or less this space. They're just going around for a stroll around in the early morning air of Mumbai. It's time once again to take a short break from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, but we've got lots of action building in the elite race. Make sure that you stick around and come back for that here in Mumbai. Another one of our stellar athletes who's taking part in the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon today, Kavita Raut, who's won before, aged 29 years old, from Nashik in Maharashtra. She comes from a poor village. Her background isn't from a wealthy background and had to run miles as a child just to fetch drinking water. Now she's running here the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon and earns a healthy living from it as well. Welcome back. You're still watching pictures from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon coming to you live on Star Sports. Now, what we want to ask Tim right now is, Tim, what's it like to jump from a half marathon to a full marathon?
It's a huge jump because actually running a 10K or a half marathon, they're sort of linked, but a full marathon is a totally different type of event. It's a massive, massive gulf. We've got a story about this now.
Well, the half marathon, 21 kilometers, is a good test for fitness and endurance. The 42 kilometers, that is the full marathon, is however a very, very different ball game. Running the full marathon approximately would require 4 to 5 hours of running continuously on the marathon day. And before going on to the 42 kilometers, it's very, very important that you run 35-kilometer run before. Even elderlies, even people with high blood pressure, asthma, heart conditions, once they train properly, yes, they can do the 42 kilometers successfully.
I just like the fact that the full marathon lets me prolong the whole process, be on the road for much longer.
You don't have a full on a long distance sort of resume. You're not really a long distance runner. So that was the next challenge for me.
Before you enroll for the full marathon, ensure that you join up a training group. You are with a coach, you train up properly. If there is any medical condition or an ailment, you contact your physician, get a clearance. And once you have their nod, you are ready, and then go ahead and run the marathon and join the club of full marathoners.
So that's what it takes to go from a half marathon to a full marathon. Some interesting stories in that little package that we had for you. There's an interesting race developing in the elite men's category. Let's go across to that pack now.
Well, yes, they're moving very well. I've been able to get hold of some splits, Nikhil. They did go through 5 kilometres in 15:05. They've actually been running now for much longer than that, of course. They've been running for something like nearly 50 minutes. But they are moving well. We're heading for a halfway split of around 64.5 minutes. There's number one, the defending champion, Evans Ruto, who is a 2:07 performer, getting his drinks. Those drinks are absolutely vital during a marathon. All those elite athletes handed in their 8 drinks bottles for the race, where they can pick them up during the run every 5 kilometres. They handed them in last night, and they've been stored, refrigerated overnight. 21.8 kilometres per hour. They're still moving very, very swiftly. A long way under 2:10 at the moment, the current tempo. Number 6 there in the orange strip, who's just gone out of shot, Luke Kibet. He is that world champion from 2007. Number 7 in the green, Shume Hailu, an Ethiopian. He's run 11 marathons. He's a 2:09 performer. This is a very, very classy pack, but it's just beginning by the looks of things to break up a little bit. And is that Evans Ruto in a little bit of trouble there? He's towards the back of the pack.
That race is developing fantastically as the athletes make their way across onto the Mumbai Sea Link. And you can see some of the images of the city of Mumbai, the skyline in the background. Now joining us in studio is someone who's been a huge supporter of the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. He is the Group Executive Director and CEO Asia of Standard Chartered, Mr. Jaspal Bindra. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Good to see you again. One of the questions I wanted to ask you is, 12 years down the line, what does the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon mean for Standard Chartered?
Well, it continues to grow as an event, and we are proud that There are many more people now running the full and the half marathon than there were before, and bringing a healthy lifestyle to the common person on the streets of Mumbai is a fantastic feel.
Well, the oldest runner in the men's, in the senior citizens category is 97, and the oldest runner in the full marathon is 78 years old. Do you think that the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, when it started 12 years ago, started some kind of a running revolution in India?
I hope, and I hope we can grow it even further than where we are today. But it is obviously something that we're very proud of.
Excellent. Now, you're also part of the largest charity platform in India, because based on statistics, I think this race has raised almost 110 crores over the years. How does that feel?
That is on its own wonderful, and the fact that it's connected with a healthy sport is even more fulfilling, and we're delighted. And it's really a huge tribute to the people of Mumbai who have made this possible. It's largely the celebrities, the ordinary people, business people who have sponsored some fantastic charities for very good causes, and we're delighted that we can combine the sport and charity in such a nice way.
Well, thank you for all of your support, because you really have started off a running revolution and a fitness revolution in our country. We're just going to return to shots of the elite men's race, because as I've been saying, that race is developing fantastically, and right now there should be over the sea link.
Well, they are on the sea link, and they've actually been running now, Nikhil, for what, about 50 minutes, and there it is, 49.5 minutes. That pack has tightened up again. It looks to me like they've picked up a little bit. I think they might even be on a slight downslope just here. But there's what, about 10 in that group, moving really well. There are 8 men, remember, in this field who have broken 2 hours, 10 minutes before. That is the benchmark of absolute world-class running. And it's always good to be part of a pack. You get sort of dragged along by the body of the pack, and it can help you survive through some difficult patches in the race. So the defending champion, Evans Ruto there, wearing number 1. Still in there, as is number 11, Silas Kipruto. He's a very exciting debutant. He's the 59-minute half marathon runner. And there's the graph, as you can see. The yellow line is their pace today. The white line is the path of the record, the existing record. So you can see that at the moment they are inside record pace.
Well, that graph clearly illustrates how these men need to progress over the latter half of this race. And we're going to go back down to Poppy, who I believe has the governor of Maharashtra with her. Poppy.
Hi, I have with me the Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, Shri Vidyasagar Rao. सर मैं आपसे एक बात पूछना चाहती हूँ, इतने सालों से यहाँ में मुंबई मैराथन हो रही है, अब क्या कहना चाहेंगे उसके बारे में?
ये बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है. It's a unity and diversity. सब लोग आके irrespective of the religion, their caste and creed, they are all running for a specific purpose. They want to see India also runs in the comity of nation. So all are united here. They are for the health, it is good. Secondly, for the charitable institutions, most of the charitable things. One is trying for the blind, one is for some handicapped, like that. So it's a wonderful congregation of the people. It should go on. Everybody should encourage it.
Sir, if I ask you to give one message to the youth of India to run, what will that be?
Definitely, because in 2020, and India is going to have a number of youths. When you compare with China and America, most of the youths are available in India only. They would be available. So youth also undertake morning exercise, running, everything. And they must be ready to face all kinds of which India is facing. For that they must be fit. And this is also inculcates an idea of doing exercise and all that.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much. Back to the studio.
Thank you very much. As we return to images on the sea link of the elite men's pack.
Well, they went through 10 kilometres. I've got it officially now, 30 minutes 35. And by that point already, one of the pre-race favourites, Henry Sugut, had dropped back. So he's having a bad day at the races, is Sugut, the 29-year-old. He's the man who's a 3-time winner of the Vienna Marathon. But certainly they're still on sub-2:10 tempo. And we can take a look at the ladies now as well. Of course, their race unfolding out on the streets of Mumbai. And there is Dignesh Mekash, the defending champion, moving well. I can see 22 there as well, Marta Megra. And the gentleman in orange there on the far side is a Belgian, Stijn Finchon, who is a pacemaker for the ladies. He's planning to go the whole way with the ladies to take them through to the line at around 2:25 tempo. They're hoping to threaten that course record of 2:24, but they've got very good pacemakers. You can see they had a slight dip in the tempo there, but they're very, very close to course record tempo. They might have to pick it up through the second half, which could be tough if the temperatures climb. But at the moment, you could almost throw a blanket over those top 4 or 5 women. Well, we can take a look at the last timing mat at 10.5 kilometers. So you can take about a minute and a half off those times to get that at 10K time. In fact, it's just come through, and they were at 10K almost exactly 35 minutes, that leading group. So good pacemaking from Steen Vinson, the Dutchman, the Belgian rather, there in yellow, and Bacha as well. An Ethiopian is a pacemaker. He's another that athlete there. I think in the red is Bacha, the Ethiopian who's helping those ladies through. Bacha is the man who, incidentally, is specifically out there, we understand, for Radia Adilo, the 25-year-old Ethiopian athlete who wears 24. Well, there's a bit of a break in the men's race by the looks of things. Certainly gaps are appearing. That tempo is fast and furious. We know that. They're moving at around the high 208s tempo as they cross that ceiling bridge, which has changed or reduced the pressure on traffic dramatically in the city of Mumbai. What was it built about 5 years ago now, I suppose?
Yeah, they've brought it into action about 4 or 5 years ago, but it's been was being built for almost about 12 years before that.
Number 9 there, looking strong. Bernard Kemoy Rotic. He was 10th in Mumbai in 2011. Has a best of 2 hours 10:18. That was just gave him 18th place in Frankfurt back in 2011. But he looks very, very strong indeed, doesn't he? Lovely rhythm to his running.
It's a beautiful image as well.
Focused. Yeah.
It's a beautiful image of the ceiling in the background. Before that, you were also looking at pictures of the Mumbai skyline. Some fantastic images from our bike cameras live on the course right now.
Number 5 there on the far side in the orange. That's Felix Kiprotich. He was a late starter to the sport. He's 27 now, very confident. He's run 2:08. He won the Rennes Marathon just last October in 2 hours, 8 minutes and 5 seconds. So it is breaking up in the men's race as they approach halfway.
That's some fantastic images coming from our bike cameras here from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. And that race is developing really well. So make sure that you do stick around because we've got lots more action coming up from Mumbai. Today's broadcast, exceptional Indian athletes that have come through the ranks over the past few years. 26 years old from Wayanad in Kerala, this is Gopi T. He started running during his school days and had to leave college and join the army due to a financial crisis. But now he's running again. That's fantastic to see. Gopi C, one of the Indian athletes who's come through the ranks over the past few years. You're watching the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon live on Star Sports, and joining us is Joint Managing Director of Procam, the company that runs the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, Mr. Singh. Welcome, sir.
Welcome, good morning.
12 years down, where are you going to go? You're doing so well.
Well, I hope for another 100 years. I mean, wouldn't that be fantastic? I mean, just marathons are something that just don't die. I mean, they just keep go from strength to strength. So it's a great movement, and it's growing every year. And the way we measure our growth is through the value of the bib. So that's so much more for charity, much more for society, much more for the people of different causes. And this time we had a fantastic sort of reaction to that. So the bibs were going at close to about 30 to 40,000 rupees for the half marathon and about 10 to 12,000 rupees for the dream run.
Wow.
So that's a great collection for money for the different charities involved.
Anil, I was talking earlier about how the running in Mumbai generally has reached a sort of critical mass. I mean, it's now very, very healthy. It's unstoppable, and it's growing year on year. But of course, the movement is spreading right across India, and you're developing new events all the time.
Correct. We've had the Airtel Delhi Half Marathon for the last 8 years. I beg your pardon, 10 years. And Bangalore has been, the TCS World 10K has been for 8 years. And we just finished doing the 25K, Tata Steel 25K in Kolkata, a birth of a new race in a new city, in a new region. And there was a phenomenal, connect with the race. And we saw 7,000 people in Calcutta coming out to
Wow.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Anil, we're going to keep you here for a few minutes because we're going to go back to pictures of the men's race, and there's an interesting race developing there as they make the turn back from Bandra towards Mahim. Let's take a look at that.
Well, yes, that men's pack is still together. It's still looking strong. They've been out there now for, what, just over 50 minutes, about 50, in fact, just over the hour now they've been out there. So they're a couple of minutes away from the half marathon point. It's really good. It's healthy for the second half of the race. The prospects look good. That there's a pack of 6 or 8 of them there running together. They will help each other through that difficult third quarter. And of course, there is a jackpot that has incentivized the athletes to carry on racing through the second half of the race. So anybody that breaks the course record, say if 2 or 3 men breaks the course record, they share an extra pot of money to stop them playing cat and mouse in the last few kilometres, which is, of course, a temptation. They want to win the race. But with that jackpot, this new innovation in terms of the prize money, it ensures the racing is really intense through the latter stages.
That's fantastic. That prize money, I believe, will be shared between a maximum of 3 people, but it's always good to have an incentive to try and break the course record.
It is indeed, yes. The pacemaker's still there. Look, 51 and 53. Mutai is 51. He's a 2:09 marathon runner himself. Very high quality pacemakers here in Mumbai. And Edwin Kiptu is also one of the pacemakers there. He was 53. But the pacemakers are doing a perfect job as they approach halfway. The next 10 kilometres, this third quarter of the race, in effect, Nikhil, are absolutely critical. 54 coming through there, looking very strong. Chepkarom of Uganda, he's only 22. He is supposed to take them through to halfway as well. And then there are 2 pacemakers to help them through that critical third quarter. Getting their drinks, absolutely vital now. We're getting reports back from the course that as they're crossing the sea link, it was very, very hot and humid. So they will have been feeling that.
Let's take a look at the course map from where they are right now. They've just gone up to the Bandra Sea Link, and they're going to go past Leelavati Hospital, going back from the edge of Bandra, past the Hinduja Hospital and Shivaji Park through Mahim, for making their way back onto the Worli sea face. There's a couple of twists and turns there, but we've been assured that they're not very sharp turns and they shouldn't really impact timing as they make their way back from Worli Dairy, past Nehru Centre, past Haji Ali. And then here's a little up and down as they make their way back onto Chowpatty and Marine Drive.
Yeah, most of the course is long, straight sections that enables the athletes to get into a really good rhythm.
Anil, you've been happy with the quality of athletes taking part in the Mumbai Marathon?
Oh,
They've been
yes.
getting better every year?
Every single year. And we've got the top in the world here, close to about 20 in the top 50 in the world. So it's and with the top pace setters like Tim just mentioned. So yes, it's a fantastic sort of acknowledgement of the race globally.
It's also fantastic to see the timings of the Indian men increase or get better year by year.
Yes. But we would like it to get a little better. So there's been a fantastic innovation we started with the Sports Authority of India. Sorry, I beg your pardon, with the Sports Authority of India as well as the Sports Ministry, which is to cull down to the last 30 and get global support systems in place. So we do a lot of training here in India, get them ready, and then they're culled down to about 6 that go on to train in Kenya under one of the best coaches in the world. So I think you'll see a fill-up in a few years in terms of how they perform.
20-kilometre splits there. We can see the athletes have gone through in 61:41. They've actually been out there now for 64 minutes. They're just about at halfway, perhaps 100 yards or so from halfway. But that's really good to see. Look, 61:41, and that's a pack of at least 9 athletes there with Shumi Hailu, 61:43, bottom right of your screen, moving along at that tempo. It all suggests that at least some of them will survive the second half in good form and push towards that course record. And it would be nice to see the course record go. It would be lovely to see a time of down around 2:08, 2 hours 8 minutes, to give this race even stronger international currency.
Well, the athletes are still running in shadows, but the sun is definitely up in Mumbai, and once it does come up, it does get the temperature climbing very quickly. Now, Anil, coming back to you again. Now, we've done 12 years of the Mumbai Marathon, and you've told me in the past how difficult it is to organize a marathon in a city. What goes into putting an event like this together?
What doesn't go into putting an event like this together would be a much easier question to answer. But the entire administration, police, traffic, municipal corporation, railways, BST, it's just a coming together of all the different parts of the city, different support systems of the city, and only then can you put a global race together. So we as ProCam International owe a lot to Mumbai and the entire administration of Mumbai the Chief Minister, the Governor of Maharashtra is here, lots of, so it's a fantastic coming together of, you see, of everybody who, and this is what it's about. I mean, this is exactly what it's about, the biggest showcase of Mumbai to the globe. That's a great story. The spirit of Mumbai, the, what you call how we sort of, the charitable side of Mumbai. So I think it's one of these days that they all come together seamlessly by the grace of God.
Okay, we're just going to go back to some of the pictures over there of the women just going past the ceiling. Tim?
Yes, and Mekash there, 21, the defending champion, looking very strong in that purple vest alongside of that Ethiopian pacemaker on the far side. That's Rarisa Bacha, the Ethiopian who's run a 2:24 marathon himself. So he's a very similar standard to these ladies. So he's moving along well there, probably not quite as easily as the the Belgian pacemaker, Steen Vincione, in the orange there to left of picture. 22, Marta Megra, just shadowing that pacemaker, the Ethiopian colleague, Bacha. And 29 is that to the right of picture we saw just now. That was Sichala making her debut. She's only 20 years old, so learning with every stride about the sport of marathon running. Good to see, but there is serious battle going on out there. And they are on tempo, by the way, for about a 2:27 finish. So not a course record heading our way at the moment in the women's race, but they haven't. They're still some way from halfway, and it's quite conceivable, Nikhil, that they will run negative splits, push on really strongly in the second half, and get down towards 2:24, 2:25 territory.
That's always a little more difficult in Mumbai as temperatures start to go up and as the sun comes up as well. There also doesn't seem to be too much wind on the course because the athletes aren't running in single file. They're spread out and looking quite comfortable, Tim.
No, that's exactly right. And I mean, this was expected. It was last night I went for a jog along the seafront. It was very, very windy indeed. But I think in the mornings it tends to be a little bit calmer. They will be beginning to feel the heat now. You can see the sun is up. They will be feeling the heat and the humidity through the second half. But as I say that, so Mekash there, number 21, the reigning champion for at least another hour or so, just looks like she's beginning to stride out a little bit more and run more aggressively. Maybe. Quite often athletes in their own minds, they set a target for themselves at which they'll make a big tactical move. It may be that at halfway she will suddenly surge and start testing the others. Well, look at that graph. There are two lines there, two light lines, one on top of the other, which suggests they are right on schedule to threaten the course record. So they must have accelerated in the last 10 or 15 minutes since I got the last timing split. If that is the case, then they are really running aggressively through this middle stage of the race. And that's interesting. It sets it up nicely. Somebody will find that the wheels come off, as we say in racing parlance. Somebody else will survive well.
Well, earlier in the race, we saw that they were motoring along at about 16 kilometers an hour. They're now up to 17.5, so they seem to have pushed the tempo just a little bit. And the pacemakers seem to be doing a good job as well.
Pacemaker's doing a really good job, yeah. And he's very experienced, is Steen there. Had a long chat with him last night at dinner. The Belgian pacemaker, he's very proud of the fact that he's a Belgian champion in the men's marathon and twice the silver medalist, and quite happy to come to races like this. And for him, this is just a long training run, running 42 kilometers as a training run. But that's looking good. That's looking good, building nicely. As indeed is this men's race. We had at least 9 men in the lead pack a little while ago. I commentate races all over the world, in road races and track races, and one of my great moans is that the athletes wear the same colour vests. And they're almost identical, and of course we've got a perfect example of it today. You could call it a commentator's nightmare. Thank goodness for those really good bib numbers they're wearing today, which are clear. Number 8 there, looking strong. There's Michael Chege. He's a 2:09 performer, the 23-year-old. Back to the ladies as well. 69 minutes on the clock for the ladies, so they're 2 or 3 minutes away from their halfway point, we believe. Mekash looking very, very calm, isn't she? Goodness me. And once you come to a race and you know the course and you've run well there the previous year, when you come back, you feel comfortable, you feel at home. The athletes here get world-class treatment in a fabulous hotel here in this city, and generally they're given red carpet treatment, which all really does help. Even the pacemakers have to take on their drinks. That is absolutely critical as well. Usually in the early and middle stages of races, you see the athletes passing the drinks around to one another, but then that friendliness drops away as the prize money comes into focus in the latter stages, and you will see less of that camaraderie.
Well, you see the timing at the top left corner of your screen, and over the course of the race, we've also brought you different timings. We've brought you splits at 10 kilometers and 20 kilometers, and of course also the speed that the athletes are running at. How exactly does all of this timing technology come into place? Here's a little story that we put together for you to describe just that.
Timekeeping is not new. Timekeeping has started in the 19th century when the people started running for the competitive races. Traditionally, finish times were recorded using the stopwatches, multiple people were deployed. More and more people started taking part in distant events, making it very hard to monitor individual timers manually. We use the RFID technology to measure the time, which is a radio frequency interface technology we use. We have to have our mats to be put on the start line. Then we have the couple of split points depending on the course to check all receiving antennas, detection mats, signals and decoders are at the optimum level. The night before the race is usually spent carrying out the test and the dry runs. Chief timing engineer checks the GPRS connectivity with all the timing servers and the timing decoders. Once the runners complete their race and once we have to announce the winners, our engineers sitting at the finish booth, they capture the data from the various split points, they verify with the GPRS and they declare the result instantly after finishing the race within few seconds. Today this RFID based technology to measure the time has been used by all international marathons all over the world, and it is my pleasure and it gives me the immense happiness that the same technology today we are using for the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon.
Timing technology there, the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, as we go back to the elite women's pack.
Yes, indeed. And these two have been locked together now for several kilometres, haven't they? For much of the race, actually, 21 and 22. Mekash, the champion, and Merga, who was sixth a couple of years ago, making her debut. She ran 3 marathons in 2013, including a third in Hanover and a personal best in Kozice. There are the splits for the ladies at 20 kilometres. Bacha, the pacemaker, is that's the Ethiopian male pacemaker, 69.51 at 20k. That tells me they're going to go through 21k or 21.1k. You add on just over 3 minutes, so there'll be about 6:73.5 minutes, which is still pretty much on 2:27 pace, which is what I said about 15 minutes ago. It is building nicely. I hope they run aggressively through the second half and push on down into the 2:26, 2:25 territory. But, you know, Nikhil, we talked so much about records, and the most important quality in any contest is the head-to-head competition. You know,
exactly, it's the racing.
You want to see the racing. You want to see them knocking chunks out of each other, so to speak, in the second half of the race. If they get a record, great. Actually, it's how good is the competition we're enjoying.
Here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, we've had so many important dignitaries and, of course, leaders of industry taking part in the race as well. And one of them, I have no idea how he does it, because he's one of the busiest people around, Mr. Anil Ambani at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. Take a look. He ran the half marathon this morning. He started off before the sun came up at about 6 o'clock in the morning. There he is, completing his half marathon here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon.
Well, here's that leading men's pack, and I've just had news that they went through halfway in 64.47, so a little bit slower than I expected, but I do think they settled down after a very quick first 2 or 3 miles. I think they settled down through that first half of the race to what is still a very respectable tempo, and I fully expect them, Nikhil, today to run negative splits. That means that second half quicker than the first half. They do look comfortable, don't they? Number 11 there, looking very, very smooth. That's Kipruto. He's a world-class track runner. He's got really good pedigree. He's run many times very, very fast, 10Ks on the road, making his debut, number 11 there. So he's done the hard yards, so to speak, in his career, now moving to the marathon at just the right time. So Kipruto, maybe somebody to watch. Might be a spectacular debut from him.
As we see pictures of the elite men's race, let's also go down to Paras, our reporter, who's down on the marathon course, who's running with the runners. He's with one of our belief contenders who started off on the full marathon at 5:40 this morning, Jitin Shah. Paras, how's it going?
You know, we actually had such a lovely run this morning. Jatin, of course, he might have had to think about those blood pressure issues, but not anymore. Jatin, what's it looking like for you?
Yes, it is great. I'm going absolutely fine, and I enjoy running.
You know, he's being modest. He's going more than just fine. What's the heart rate at right now?
Right now it's 173.
Okay. Now what's what the doctor has told you, which is your limits up and down?
Up and down is 150 and 170.
All right.
But 5 here or there, it's okay. So I have to be in my limit. Yeah, I cannot increase my pace more than 175 heart rate.
Go, I like it. That's why he's one of the contenders for belief. His heart rate must be fine. All the ladies around, they keep cheering for you. Jatin crosses, their heart rate goes up way up.
That is a little bit concerning. His heart rate is at 173, and let's not forget that Jatin, one of our belief contenders, is running to combat blood pressure. That's one of the issues that he's facing, and it's also an issue that many people across India face as well. And he's found a lot of relief from running. He's actually improved his health and reduced his blood pressure. He's gone off the medication, he tells us. The doctors have taken him off the meds since he's been running, and it seems to be working for him.
Yeah, well, as long as his heart rate stays in somewhere close to that range of 150 to 170, we wouldn't be too concerned. What I'm concerned about with these pictures is just how fast they are moving now. This men's pack still very tightly bunched. In fact, it's tightened up even more, I suspect. The pacemakers, of course, their role here becomes even more critical because in the first half of the race, these athletes are running very, very comfortable. Even going to halfway in 64 minutes, which is fabulously fast, they're comfortable. This third quarter of the race is where they really do need the help to stay relaxed as long as possible into the race. And then they have to do all the hard work in that final quarter.
As we see the race unfolding over here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, just want to say thank you once again, Mr. Anil Singh, for all of your support and the work.
Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you for being here and doing the fantastic. Tim, good to have you in Mumbai.
Nikhil, lovely to be, Anil, lovely to be back once again.
And let's take a short break now from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon and come back for more action right after this. Here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, bringing you snippets of some of the elite athletes that have come through the ranks here in India. Lalita Babar, who's won here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon as well. Age 26, she's from Satara in Maharashtra, and she's been running since the tender age of 13. Her father apparently was against running, but was moved and inspired by her passion for it. Welcome back. You're watching pictures on Star Sports live of the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, and joining me in studio is Mr. John Lenzen, who's the Vice President and Global Head of Marketing for TCS. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Tell us about TCS's involvement in the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon and, of course, in racing across the world.
Yeah, we've been supporting this race for 8 years. This is our 8th year. It really got us established into the whole running movement as a company from a sponsorship perspective, and actually really was a genesis as a spark to drive interest in running internally in the company. So we probably have 70,000 people internally that are involved in a Fit for Life program. And it really, I think the germ of it started with this event in terms of our interest. And since then, we've sponsored running events all around the world. Currently we support, in addition to the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, we support the TCS Amsterdam Marathon, the TCS New York City Marathon, and of course the TCS Bangalore World 10K. So those events are great opportunities for us to not only promote running internally with our employees, but more importantly, in the communities in which we operate, health and wellness and making sure people are fit. It's good for individuals, it's good for companies, employers, it's good for communities in which we operate. So these are great platforms for us to promote that message. And obviously also get our brand out there in the markets we work in.
John, just hang on for a second. We've actually got Paras down on the road right now with Suchita, who's running the 5-hour bus, taking along a bunch of people with her to make sure that they all finish within the 5-hour mark here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. Paras.
I love it. Together we come, together we will. Suchita, you guys are having a ball. This is the party bus.
Yes, it is. We're having a party.
Now, besides just the party, you're also motivating everyone to make sure that they finish this in under 5 hours. What's the big strategy?
Strategy is now till 32. We're going to go at this pace and then slow down.
You know, here's the thing. I don't know about just her. People behind her running, pretty woman running, they're going to be chasing her in any case.
Thank you so much.
Now, how much has everyone been training here?
Few of them are my trainees. I'm a coach for Top Gear, proud of my group. And some have just joined me even from UAE.
I love it. She came in with one word, which is believe, and that's exactly what she did and motivated. Love it.
Thanks very much, Paras. Suchita there, of course, is one of our belief contenders. One of the 6 belief contenders here will take away that fantastic Star Sports Believe Award. Now, with us here in the studio, Mr. John Lenzen. John, tell us a little bit more about the initiative that you've taken up over here to take two runners, two men and two women, top contenders from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon to run the New York Marathon.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you know, in India, especially the last 5 years, running has really taken off. I remember in 2010, I was here for probably 6 weeks, and I stayed along Marine Drive. And I go out in the morning, very few people running, people walking. Today, it's very different. So that just growth of running in India has been fantastic. So we've got these 4 platforms that we support, and we think it's a great way of using those platforms to kind of promote running in India, but also kind of bring running in Indian runners to the world stage. So we've got a unique opportunity to do that in the connection to these 2 events. And we would like to do other things between the Bangalore event potentially and the Amsterdam event to promote those.
My neighbor Sunil Naik actually comes and runs with you in Amsterdam.
Oh, really?
So he has a really good time. I just want to thank you for all of your support.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us in the studio.
Appreciate being here. Thanks.
Cheers. Getting back to the race here, there's lots of action unfolding at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon as we go back to the lead men's pack. Tim, this is developing very well.
It is developing well, yes. Henry Sugut, by the way, one of the pre-race favourites, was wearing number 2. He dropped out just before halfway at 20 kilometres, we understand. But they went through 25 kilometres in 1 hour, 16 and a half minutes. And that puts them right on schedule for 2 hours, 9 minutes and 24 seconds. Now, it's a little bit early when they've still got about 40 minutes of running to come to be predicting it to the second, but it does suggest that they are still very much on course record schedule, which is great. And there's been a big break in the women's race too. We think we can bring you that. Dinknesh Mekash, he's the defending champion. Tall, long legs, lovely, relaxed stride. She went with the pacemaker, Steen Finchion, the Belgian pacemaker who has been helping throughout the race from the gun, but he's still there. But Mekash behind him is in glorious isolation, the loneliness of the long-distance runner, and that's what you strive for as a runner, particularly in a race, and she's got away from the opposition. Now, it'd be good to see the gap behind her back to the chasing group, but it's big, look. That's about 80, maybe 100 yards. Difficult to tell with that foreshortening effect of the camera. But look at the gap there, and look at the graph too there. She's going very quick indeed. She has accelerated, there's no doubt about that. Her speed on the left there and the kilometres, she's very, very close to course record tempo. She's getting right up to it. And if she can continue to surge through this next half hour or so, she might yet get down there to 2:24 timing. Remember, her personal best, 2:25.09. The course record, 2:24.33. She needs to find less than 30 seconds. We can go back to the men's race now, where they are pounding along, and it is beginning to break up a little bit now. 1 or 2 names beginning to drop away. And I understand numbers 1, 2, 3, 5 and 7 are having trouble. That means the defending champion, Ruto, if that is correct, has dropped away. Number 4 there is looking strong. That is Debele of Ethiopia. There's the splits at 27 kilometres where there's a timing mat. Kibet, 1:22.49. Luke Kibet, Edwin Kiptu is there as well. He's looking strong. And Tesfaye Abera, 1:22.49. And in fact, that pack was, 6 strong. Then there's a slight gap back to Chege there, top right, number 7. Michael Chege in 7th place, rather, 1:22.52. So the gap's just beginning to appear at 27 kilometres, which they're well past now. But look how strongly and how relaxed still number 12, Abera, looks. He's making his debut. The 22-year-old Ethiopian. Been running very, very well in the lower distance races in the Netherlands recently as Abera in the grey. There he is. Looks relaxed, doesn't he? Looks can be deceptive in marathons, but on what I can see so far, I'd say he's going to be one of those that makes the rostrum.
The sun well and truly up here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon as the athletes make their way just past Worli Seaface. They're going to be running a little bit more up the road and taking a U-turn and coming back down Worli Seaface and then heading out towards Haji Ali. Then, of course, that little incline on Pedder Road, then back on Marine Drive towards the start-finish line.
To the right there in the orange is Luke Kibet. Now, he's the man who won the World Championships in Osaka, Japan back in 2007, all of over 7 years ago now. There's the graph. You can see that the men are moving a little bit slower than they would have needed to hit the course record. They need to get up towards that white line and if there's speed. But anything is possible because they've still got, about 40 minutes of running to come. Remember last year, they came back very, very strongly in the last third or so of the race to nail a quick time, that new course record. So I wonder if these men with this competition, remember that jackpot prize money that I talked about, if several of them get under the course record, then they share an additional pot of money. I wonder if that is the incentive here, because I'll tell you what, number 8, Michael Chege, is pumping really hard there, isn't he? And so is number 12, Abera, matching each other stride for stride, sitting in their wake there. Number 4, DeBelly, looking a little bit stressed. Number 10, Kosgei, looking good. And Kibet is there too, Luke Kibet. But this young lady, there could hardly be a stronger contrast, could there? What a star she is. Dignesh Mekash. Dignesh, by the way, means wondrous one in Amharic, the Ethiopian language. Well, she's running wondrously today. And this is a young lady who last year ranked only 24th in Ethiopia. Such is the depth in their event. Well, she has looked behind her a couple of times, probably just to see how much damage this surge has done. It's been dragged away by the pacemaker, the Belgian pacemaker who's with her, Steen Fission. But she seems to have a very safe gap and could hardly be more different, because look how closely these four, you could throw a blanket over them, literally, couldn't you? Very, very little in it. But it is interesting that that is number 6, yeah, it is Luke Kibet, the world champion, having the world champion back in 2007, having one of his best runs in a long, long time. An awkward little turn there, which just breaks up your rhythm, but they've negotiated it okay, and have surged again. And look how quickly the camera struggling to get back up to them, the bike camera. Mekash Nikhil looks to me like she's got the race in the bag. Deep in concentration. She's been in this situation before last year when she looked so strong. 17 kilometers an hour and about 55 minutes. Well, we're going to go to a break now. We'll be back for the final stages of both men's and women's races. Stay with us.
We're bringing you some of the leading Indian athletes that have broken through the ranks over the past few years here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. Aged only 25 years old from Uttarakhand, Man Singh follows a mostly liquid diet with almonds, cereals and cornflakes. But he does have a certain weakness for an Indian sweet called rasgullas. That's very nice to see. You're watching live pictures on Star Sports here of the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. Now, when I came to Mumbai in 1997, my first boss at MTV was a certain Mr. Sunil Lulla. Since then, he's moved on to conquer other pastures, but he still has time to run the half marathon here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon.
I'm here at my second half marathon. Looking forward to it. I'm going to run for Children's Movement for Civic Awareness because they believe in empowering children with the values of democracy. I'm running with my two partners, Krishna and Lazzy, and we hope to come under 2. Thank you, Star Sports. Thank you, SCCM. Thank you, program. Good luck.
Now, over the course of this broadcast, we've also been bringing you our contenders for the Star Sports Believe Award. We've shown you 5 of them, and this is our 6th and final contender.
दूर तक जाना है हमें मंजिल को पाना है हमें. Being from vernacular medium school, I feel that there's a big gap between English medium and Marathi medium. If you don't speak English in India, that's a big crime, and that somewhere shook me that I should go for it. This is the cause. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N P Q R S T U V W X Y Z. I think working with the village kids is the biggest happiness of my life. I used to have that thing in my mind that I want to perform in front of a big crowd. They will go crazy. I'm singing. They are loving me. If I go, I enter in the classroom. I make them happy. I sing with them. So I don't need to be very perfect in the music. They don't know anything about the music, but the music, if I know 30-40% also, for them I'm kind of a rock star. when they grow, when they grow, and there'll be back of their mind somewhere they'll be thinking of me, that there was somebody used to come to our class and used to sing to us.
In this universe, someday these kids will rise in their lives. I do believe. I believe in you. I believe in me. I believe in this universe.
A fantastic story there of Manish Dhiman, our sixth belief contender. It's really nice the way he uses music to educate children. Now, we're just about 5 minutes away from the start of the dream run that takes place over 6 kilometers here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, and that's where all the costumes and the crazies come out, and we love them all. But back at the elite men's race, there seems to have been a bit of a break.
Well, we'll take a look at that now, the men's race, and it is aggressive running coming in here. They go through 31.5 kilometers, and that's number 12, Abera, making his debut. And this is the man who's been racing so well at lower distances in Europe in recent weeks. Just 22 years old, has never been in this territory before, so it's a new experience for him. Right behind him there in the orange, you might have caught a glimpse just now of 31-year-old Luc Kibet, who's so experienced, a world champion no less. Had a tough time after that World Championship title in 2007. He got caught up in the Kenyan riots of 2008-2009, got smashed over the head with a rock, and it wasn't the same runner for 2 or 3 years. Mekash, though, has the women's race in the bag, surely. 1:37 on the clock. She looks like she's going to run around 2:25, 2:26. That means she does still have almost 50 minutes of running to come, so a lot can happen in that time, but she looks confident, she looks strong, and the last split I got from her, from people out on the course, is that she went through 25k in 1 hour 27 minutes. Now, if that's right, she's accelerated dramatically, and that's why she's pulled away over the last few kilometers. It does suggest that she might be getting down towards course record territory for that women's race. Very, very exciting quality of running from Mekash, even though she might have killed off the competition.
We're just a few minutes away from the dream run as you see pictures of Dia Mirza, one of our Bollywood celebrities. And of course with Tara Sharma as well. Poppy's down there with someone. Poppy, who do you have?
Well, I have the gorgeous-looking team of Everest, the show on Star Plus. Well, let's meet them. This is Sahil, Shamta, and Rohan. So, how was it climbing Everest?
Brilliant, yeah. It was quite an experience, and it's still rushing through. Like it was amazing. Everest, highest peak, being there.
And are you guys running?
Of course, we're running, and we're super excited. There are so many people, so we are really looking forward to this. And this is the first time, so we're doing it. So I think.
And what do you think of the Mumbai Marathon?
Actually, Mumbai Marathon is very good for all people to promote. Like we are running for gender equality and all. So yeah, we are here for that, and I'm gonna run for sure.
Well, the whole nation actually wants to know which of the two boys is stronger and who's gonna actually climb Everest first. Shamta, can we have a thing here? Like why don't you? Oh, she knows who's stronger. Well, okay, why don't we do something? Why don't you guys do some push-ups, clap push-ups, and let's see who's stronger. Okay, get down both guys. Shamta, you're the judge, okay? Okay, here you go. 1, 2, 3, go! Wow! My God, both these guys look really, really strong. Shamta, it's going to be very difficult. Woohoo! I don't think they're going to stop. Someone's giving up. Okay, Shamta, that's it. Shamta, tell me, Shamta. Well, thank you very much. Both these boys are very, very strong, and they're going to climb Everest very soon. Back to the studio. Thank you.
Looks like Poppy can make the guys do anything she wants. Well done, Poppy. As we see images of the start line there, there's Tara Sharma, who's an actress, has her own TV show now. Dia Mirza, also a Bollywood actress, as our other dignitaries wait to flag them off. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra, they're flagging off our contestants at the Dream Run. 6 kilometers, just round the block and back here, Tim.
Well, it's almost 4 miles. I mean, it's pushing it, Nikhil. It's only a couple of 100 yards short of 4 miles, so they've got to respect the distance. But yeah, a lot of those youngsters should plough around that very, very comfortably indeed. And what I love about running, Nikhil, is there are no barriers. It's for the young, the old, any shape or size. And you set your own standard. It's about participating rather than trying to be a winner for the vast majority of people.
Absolutely. There we see Dia Mirza running around the course as well. She was there with Tara Sharma. Tara, of course, has been running distance running for quite a while. We haven't seen her on the course for the past few years, but over the past 5 or 10 years, she has done a lot of distance running across Mumbai, as we see images of the Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra there as well. Lots of people running for different causes and, of course, raising money for charity. Over the past 12 years, the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon has raised just under 110 crores for charity. That's a huge amount of money.
And then, you know, the thing about the running boom in India, Nikhil, is we're talking about the fantastic numbers that they're racing in Mumbai, over 40,000 entries, new races being introduced. But actually, you know, they've hardly scratched the surface of the potential for a country of this size.
Let's go down to Poppy and see who she has with her this time. Poppy.
आप किस चीज के लिए भाग रहे हैं?
See, this is nature के लिए. This is save nature, save earth. अर्थ बचेगी तो ही हम सब बचेंगे. पैसे से आपको ना ऑक्सीजन मिलेगा ना वाटर मिलेगा. एक दिन ऐसा आने वाला है, आज अगर हमने पौधे नहीं लगाए तो कल हम श्वास लेने के भी लायक नहीं रहेंगे इस धरती पर.
Lots of gyan here. I think we should let them run. Go run for the cause.
Yes. पेड़ पौधे फल और फूल शायद हम गए हैं भूल.
हम गए हैं भूल. चलिए भागते हैं.
की रक्षा करें, पर्यावरण के मित्र बने. This is an NGO of Bajaj.
Thank you very much. Very excited crowd here.
It's a fantastic crowd there. पैसे से oxygen नहीं मिलेगा और पानी नहीं मिलेगा. Absolutely right. As we see scores of people crossing the start-finish line. This is going to take some time. This is going to take about 20 minutes for all of our contestants to cross the start-finish line, because there's about 20,000 people taking part in the Dream Run, as we see images of our race ambassadors, John Abraham and Mario as well. A lot of these people just taking a leisurely walk around the course. The front runners would have taken off. They would be serious about running the 6 kilometers here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, but a lot of these will just be going around and, of course, stopping by the start-finish line to take pictures of John Abraham and Ayushmann Khurrana, who's also there in the podium.
Good to see Marion Bartoli supporting the race in this manner. Nikhil, of course, she overcame so many challenges herself in her early tennis years when she was told she didn't have the talent to make it to the top, and she battled on, being coached by her father, put in hundreds of hours of hard training every month, and eventually won Wimbledon, won a Grand Slam. It's the absolute peak. Winning a Grand Slam is kind of like the Olympic gold medal in tennis.
There's a bit of a bottleneck there at the start-finish line with people trying to take photographs of John Abraham. Poppy's got somebody who's with her. Poppy.
Well, I have Alpa with me, and there's a huge umbrella that I'm under, and Alpa will tell you what is it all about.
Okay, we are from Srimad Rajchandra Love and Care. Okay, 1 second. Wait, can we speak? We are from Srimad Rajchandra Love and Care. We are operating in the tribal belt of Gujarat. We have 10 care program, which is depicted by this costume. We have the animal care, we have the emergency relief care, we have the women care. Here we have the women care. Basically, it's a 10-fold program.
It's a 10-fold program, and I guess you guys have been winning awards for the costumes as well?
Yes, and also we have been the highest fundraising NGO for the last 4 years.
Fantastic. That's a brilliant cause. Highest fundraising thing for 4 years now. Brilliant. All the best and go run.
I love those costumes. Absolutely love those costumes. Jaspal Bindra, who's the head of Standard Chartered, who's been a huge supporter of distance running, and he looks like he's having an absolutely fantastic time. Doing a little bit of a dance over there as well. Bit of a bottleneck as always. The dignitaries, people want to take photographs of them.
It's almost the norm now, Nikhil, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Yes, you know, you don't get too many opportunities to get that close to people that you enjoy the presence of so much on your TV screen, and when you see them in the flesh, you just got to get that photo, haven't you?
There's lots of music on the course as well. There are bands playing around the 6-kilometer Dream Run course map. There's a few people actually serious about running the 6 kilometers. They're going to have to fight their way through the crowds. Not everybody seems to be running today.
They're going to have to accept running 5.5 kilometers, I think, because it's going to take them a little while to get out of that.
Our race ambassadors, John Abraham and Marion Bartelli. Fantastic pictures coming to you live on Star Sports, the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. There's lots of costumes coming up. There's lots of balloons and people running for different charities. Lots more action coming up on the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon right after this break when we come back to the elite men's race, which is about to finish. We're bringing you stories of some of the key athletes that have broken through in India over the past few years. Keta Ram, who's had a fantastic run here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon as well. He's from Barnala in Rajasthan and has a bit of experience at 28 years old. His father was just a humble farmer and he was motivated to run, quite simply, by the prize money on offer. And there's a decent bit of prize money on offer here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, well over $250,000 in all. As we see pictures of the dream run, lots of people in costume holding up signs. They've taken some time and trouble to get into costume for this dream run, as we see pictures, people taking selfies, of course, at the start-finish line. Let's go down to Poppy. She's got some more people with her. Who do you have with you, Poppy?
I have Mahatma Gandhi. I have Swami Vivekanand with me. Let's speak to them. Gandhi ji.
Yeah, we are from Chinmaya Mission. We are working for transforming Indians to transform India contest. And we believe that if I transform, then the whole India transforms. So my transformation transforms the nation.
Well, it's all about transformation here. What about you, sir?
I believe Rashtra Devo Bhava, country above self. That is our motto.
And what about Bhagat Singh ji?
I transform, India transforms.
Well, all the freedom fighters of India, thank you.
This is our Gurudev centenary year, and we are having this national rally of transforming Indians to transform India, and that is why we are about 200 people from Chinmaya Mission are here to promote our mission to the nation, transforming Indians to transform India. I transform, India transforms.
Thank you very much. A brilliant one. Oh. Thank you.
If you transform yourself, you transform others. It's an age-old saying, be the change that you want to be, that you want to see, rather. As we see more pictures of the dignitaries at the flag-off stand. The women's race that had been developing interestingly a while ago has seen a clear breakaway. Tim, what's going on there?
Well, it has indeed, yes, and still on her own in that isolation that is so wonderful. Dinknesh Mekash, the champion from last year. She is the fastest in the race on paper with a best of just outside 2 hours, 25 minutes. That was in Paris, actually, nearly a couple of years ago now when she was fourth, the Paris Marathon. But Mekash here, well, she's, at the moment, it would seem, a class apart from the rest of them. The defending champion from last year, putting up a very stout defence. And it looks to me like she's going to retain that title. We can't see the gap behind her, but she's looking very strong indeed. And it's so good for her to almost have what is in effect now a personal pacemaker in the figure of the Dutchman there in the orange. You can just see him coming into shot occasionally, Steen Vincion. So she has her own personal pacemaker. And of course, this is a controversial situation to some degree because the athletes back in second and third haven't got pacemakers helping them. So he's helping them. He's helping her be drawn clear of the rest.
Tim, how important is that pacemaker for the athlete? Because if she was running on her own, she would start to wander a little bit, wouldn't she?
Yeah, she would, and you know, it is. I've heard people criticise that situation before, and I feel a little bit the same way. She's getting assistance now, even though she's on her own. The others are on their own, but they're not getting assistance. At this point, you feel the pacemakers should step aside and let them race it out.
Is this assistance largely mental, or is it physical as well?
Physical as well. It's mental and physical. I mean, certainly there is strong evidence now that if you tuck in behind somebody running, there's an advantage to the slipstreaming effect. Not as much as in cycling, but there is an advantage. I'm not too sure many of these runners will be worrying about it in the dream run.
There's a gigantic slipstream there.
Oh, wow. There's moves in the men's race. And number 12, the youngster, he's only 22 years old, remember, Abir of Ethiopia, glances over his shoulder to see what damage this surge has done. And the view he'll have got, the sight he'll have got is exactly what he wanted. There's a big, big gap behind him. And of course, now he's beginning to pass a lot of runners from earlier in the day who set off in the mass marathon, and it'll be difficult for him to pick out his rivals in the background. But look how strongly he's running. 1:52 on the clock. We think he's heading for a time of around 2:09. It could well be a course record. I really hope it is. In which case, he's got, what, just some 16 or 17 minutes of running to come. But this is some debut by Tesfaye Ebera, and as if the Ethiopians needed another massive marathon star. Goodness me, they might have found one today. There's his tempo, look, just below course record pace. I think it's very, very little in it. It's hard to judge from that graph exactly whether or not he's going to hit the course record time. Remember, the time he's chasing, 2 hours, 9 minutes and 32 seconds from Jackson Kiprop of Kenya 2 years ago.
He's just come off the Pedder Road flyover in Mumbai, and he's just about 200 yards away from turning onto Marine Drive, which is essentially the home stretch here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. It is quite a long home stretch, though. It's about 6 or 7 kilometers, maybe longer, and then it turned towards Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus for the start-finish line.
But Abira, well, he's got some very useful half marathon times to his name, 60 minutes 32 seconds. He ran in Nice, a couple of years ago now, in Nice in the south of France, where there's some beautiful, beautiful coastline with fast, flat running. But he's also run in China. He's very experienced at the half marathon distance, so he's earned his colours. He does keep looking over his shoulder to check what's going on behind him, and well, he might, because he's probably thinking this is too good to be true. What is it? $41,000 for first place. 17.6 kilometers per hour. He negotiates another turn very, very smoothly indeed. And I just get the feeling that he's got the bit between his teeth now. And of course, when you get a gap like that, Nikhil, the adrenaline starts flowing. That gives another inch to your stride. He's pulling away.
Do you think he also doesn't, he can't believe what he's doing right now, because he's never run a full marathon, has he?
He has never run a full marathon, but clearly he's done the training. You know, he's a very accomplished half marathon runner. There's another long, long look over his shoulder. And he's gaining ground. He's easing away from his chasers all the time. What he has to do now, of course, is concentrate and maintain the effort, but also eke out what he's got left over these last few kilometers, because he is inexperienced. He's never been in this territory before, physically or mentally. And you know, I've seen situations where runners really hit a bad patch in the last, he's got about 4 miles to go. He hit a bad patch in the last 4 miles, and the race, they can come unstuck. They can be caught. He is hurting, look. There's a bit of a grimace on those features. Abira, though, having the biggest day of his young life. He's an accomplished runner, not only on the roads, but in the cross-country too. He was 14th in the World Cross-Country Championships 2 years ago in Poland, in the snow, on a very hilly course. I remember calling that race. 14th in that day for an Ethiopian used to the lovely, warm, dry air of the Rift Valley. Is no mean feat.
It's going to be a little more humid here. He's just running past Chowpatty Beach, famous for his Bhel Puri in Mumbai, and he's on the home stretch of Marine Drive.
He is indeed deep in concentration, though. He's certainly hurting. Unusual running style to some degree. That arm carriage, very, very high, isn't it? The hands right up there across his chest. Most runners have those arms a little bit lower down. 18.2 kilometers per hour. But look at that face. Deep, deep concentration etched across the features. There's a lot of stress there. He's hurting now. He's got to be nearly 2 hours. He's been moving at something like this tempo. There's another long glance over his shoulder. Some coaches say don't do that, it's bad practice. But I think it's just smart myself. Make sure you've got plenty of information coming in. You know what's going on behind you. But he's got to eke out what he's got left over these final few kilometers. It does look like there's a big gap behind him, I have to say. I can't see another bright coloured vest in the background. 19 kilometers per hour now. He's speeded up. I don't know if he has got a glance of somebody behind him and that scared him, and he got another little squirt of adrenaline. But look at this. 2 hours, 9 minutes, remember, and 32 seconds is his target, the course record owner. And there is that bonus for a new course record of $15,000. So this young man could earn $41,000 first place prize money, $15,000 for the course record bonus. Well, do your maths. That's not bad at all. What is it? $56,000. Take that back to Ethiopia. You can probably multiply it in its buying power compared with the USA 4 or 5 times.
Absolutely.
It's life-changing. I mean, it's a massive, this will be his biggest payday ever by many, many times.
And one of the stories that we keep hearing from other people who've won marathons over here in India is that they always take their money back and give something back to the family.
They give something back to the family. I was talking yesterday to one of the Kenyan ladies, Gladys Kipsoi. She said her father died while she was at a race 4 years ago. She was at a race abroad in Europe, and her father died back in Kenya. But in any case, for several years he'd been very ill, and she said all the money she was earning from racing was pumped into his treatment to try and keep him alive, keep him healthy. She said she didn't benefit much from several years of racing because it was all swallowed up by her father's treatment. But this young man, well, back in Ethiopia, this is life-changing. It means being able to buy a house. It means being able to buy land, livestock, and spread it amongst your family, as you say. But he does look strong, doesn't he? The sun is out. We're getting reports from on the course that it is very, very hot out there. 50 metres behind just a few minutes ago was Luke Kibet and Debele, but he has broken away and he's on schedule now for about just outside 209, 209.10, 209.20. So the course record, and unless he falters, is coming his way.
Here's a look at the party that's still going on here at the start-finish line. The Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon's dream run over 6 kilometers, and it looks like they've almost come to a standstill. Don't forget, this is still the start-finish line, and many of these contestants haven't even gone past that as yet. I was under the impression that it would take about 20 minutes to clear about 20,000 people across that line, but it looks like it's going to be taking a little bit longer. They're probably all stopping there to take pictures of John Abraham and all the celebrities that are there in the flag of Tyres. As we go back to pictures of our lead runner here in the elite men's race.
Well, this young man, following in the footsteps of so many great Ethiopian runners over the years. Of course, on Monday is the Dubai Marathon. Next Friday is the Dubai Marathon. Kenenisa Bekele, some people are saying, could possibly get the world record. Though he's glancing at his watch, he knows he's chasing that time, 209.32. He'll be looking for some sort of indicator as to how close he is to it. He'll be having to make some little mental calculations, but it's very, very tough. What he needs to concentrate on now is getting the best out of himself over these final few kilometers. It's been a tremendous race, a tremendous debut.
A huge contrast in running styles and running speeds as well. It's fantastic to see the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, one of our contestants here in the Dream Run.
But this is a mature gentleman, Nikhil. You know, it's fantastic to see him taking part. It's what matters. Be in there. Well, the glory of youth, the power of youth. Look at the way this young man is still very, very relaxed. I'd like to see that arm carriage a little bit more relaxed. The arm's a little bit lower. But they do say, whatever makes you comfortable, just don't think too much about your style. Good crowds on the course here. These are the biggest crowds I've seen, I think, yet in Mumbai as he heads along Marine Drive. Again, he checks his watch. He's a busy runner, isn't he? Glancing over his shoulder, checking his watch, and not doing everything you need to do to stay relaxed. But he's nervous, he's scared. And so often, of course, it is that, like a rabbit in the headlights, that fear that drives you on, and it keeps the adrenaline pumping through your system. So there's positives and negatives at play here, but mostly positive, because surely we're looking at the champion of this 12th edition of the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon.
He's going to get a lot of support in this final stretch of the race, because the course goes through a lot of residential areas and people come down from the buildings, they line the streets and they applaud and they cheer and they clap the runners on. Gives them a lot of support, especially mentally, over the last bit of the race.
Tesfaye Ibera, targeting 2 hours, 9 minutes and 32 seconds. Can he take this course record time into uncharted territory? Just a few minutes away, 2:01:37 on the clock. He's got 8 minutes in which to break the course record.
We're going to take a short little break here from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, but make sure that you don't go anywhere, because he could be on course for a course record. We're going to find out when we come back. Bringing you snippets of some of the leading athletes that have broken through over the past few years here in India. Soji Matthew, who's got a bit of experience, aged 33 years old, is from Kerala. He's won a silver at the World Railway Cross Country in 2008, and he's continuing to run distance races here in India as well. You're watching live pictures on from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon on Star Sports. And just before the break, Tesfaye Ibera had broken away from a group of about 8 or 9 people, and he was making a run on his own. And according to Tim, he's right on course record schedule. Is that right?
He's exactly on course record schedule. I got his time at 40 kilometers, 2 hours, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Almost to the second, he's going to hit the finish line at the course record time of 2 hours, 9 minutes and 32 seconds. If he can accelerate, stop worrying about what is behind him, concentrate on the last couple of kilometers in front of him, and push on very, very hard, the course record is going to be his. The trouble is that he may not realize until he's within 100 yards or so of the finish line exactly how tight it's going to be. And it might be too late by that point, even if he puts on a sprint. He's got the race in the bag, surely. There's a gap behind him. We understand that Luke Kibet is in second place. He's having a battle with Debele as well, another of the Ethiopians out there. Debele was one of the more fancied runners. Dereje Debele wears number 4. 18 kilometers an hour, 18.1 kilometers an hour. He's still tanking along as this young man. But this is a most amazing debut in tough, warm conditions. The temperature is climbing out there. He's going to run under 2:10, surely. And that is a heck of a debut. And he'll be in demand for the other big races coming up in the spring. Boston, New York in the autumn. Boston, New York, Boston and London. Then New York and Chicago, of course, come later in the year, along with Berlin. And as we hoped, the runners who are finishing, who last year impeded the winner as he headed up the last few couple of miles, have been kept to the left of the road. So he's got lovely free road in front of him, empty road in front of him, which he can really stride out freely, and that's good to see. 2:06.55, almost 2:07 on the clock. Remember, he's chasing 2:09.32. It's going to be desperately close, and I wonder if he realises how far he's got to go. But we got that 40-kilometre split a few minutes ago now. So he turns the corner there, 2:07.10 on the clock. That stride length is gone. The legs are beginning to show the stress. There's not quite the same bounce there, but he's worked very, very hard over this last half hour on his own to establish this lead and destroy a very, very strong field, which includes a world champion. It includes the champion of 2014, Evans Ruto. They are behind him. He's left a fantastic field in his wake. 2 minutes to go until that course record. Just under 2 minutes to go. But here he comes. Can he get the record? He's pushing on hard. Look at that furrowed brow now, and he's hurting. The arms are relaxed. He's still checking his clock. Desperately checking his watch as he heads up this last few hundred meters. Come on, get your head down. Stop worrying about your clock. Your watch. Don't worry about the runners behind you. Just get your head down and drive through this last few hundred meters and get that course record. It's almost dangling in front of him like a carrot, isn't it? That $15,000 bonus. Well, the leading Indian here, 1:07. That is Arjun Pradhan from the Army Sports Institute. He's making his debut here. He's only run 66 minutes for a half marathon, but if he is the leading Indian, and we understand he is, he's having a heck of a day at the races as well. Here comes Abira, though. The finish line beckons. The crowds have been kept out of his way. The organisation has improved significantly since last year. 2:09.32. It's going to be very, very tight indeed. Certainly the bounce is gone. There's not the same power and energy to his stride as there was even 10 minutes ago. He's hurting. There's no doubt about it. Glancing down at the road, it has been some time since he's looked over his shoulder. He keeps checking that watch. He's got about 15 seconds to go. Is he going to make it? The finish line is there. He's trying desperately to charge at the finish line. Look at that brow. The furrow's getting deeper and deeper. 29. 30, he's going to be just outside it, or is he? 32, that course record has just gone. He's going to miss it by a matter of a very, very few seconds. But what a debut it has been nonetheless for Tesfaye Abira. A victory for him, crosses the line, 2:09.44 unofficially. Abira is the champion of the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon 2015. And he's run himself to a standstill. The legs have gone. Number 4 comes through for second place. He too, glancing over his shoulder, Debele. It's a 1-2 for the Ethiopians. What a day for them in Mumbai. Just outside 2:10 by the looks of things. But Debele, who was the winner of Dusseldorf in 2013 in 2 hours, 7 minutes, 48 seconds, is going to be, what, about 3 minutes outside that today. He's very experienced, very consistent. And really, the quality of this man underlines the quality of the run from Abira, the debutant who took the title. Second behind him, Debele there, his compatriot, in unofficially 2 hours, 10 minutes and 30 seconds. And Luke Kibet in third place gets the Kenyans onto the rostrum. 31 years old. This is his best run for a couple of years. It really is. Luke Kibet, the world champion of 2007, had his day of days in the sweltering heat of Japan. He takes third place there unofficially in 2:10.55. Well, the sun beating down on them over this last hour or so has really taken its toll. Not the same packing as last year, but nonetheless wonderful racing and exciting to see that really strong debut from Tesfaye Abera. He's only 22 years old. What a future he's got.
That's a fantastic race. Wearing bib number 12, Tesfaye Abera, running his first marathon. Is that usual or is that extraordinary, Tim?
Most people take a few marathons to get into it. If you look at the great marathon runners, Haile Gebrselassie, Paul Tergat, I think both of them didn't win a marathon until about their 5th race. That must be the most glorious feeling, that cool water being poured over your overheating head. But here is Abera, crosses himself as he crosses the line. Thanks his God for what has been the most extraordinary day. Misses the course record bonus, $15,000 by a few seconds, but he won't be worried one jot about that because that is the start of what will be a huge marathon career for the youngster.
There's a photo opportunity of our first 3 winners here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. The times, of course, are unofficial, but I think we've got Tesfaye Abera at around 2:42. I'm sorry, 2:09:44.
Unofficially, that is. Yeah, that's my scribble as he crossed the line there. But he's a big lad, isn't he? Abera there. He's got the build. He's got the length of leg to win many more races in years to come. More finishers coming in. 51, Michael Mutai was a pacemaker, and he's chosen to finish the race. Boy, he's going to finish inside the top half dozen. If those were the next 2 finishers, 4th and 5th, Mutai, who was one of the early pacemakers, he was due to lead through to halfway, has done it the hard way. Here they come, approaching the finish line now. And, well, amongst the best of the Indians, Karan Singh there. He's checking his watch. Still down on Marine Drive. He's got a little way to go yet. 2:13 on the clock. Singh is a 2:22 performer. Ran that in Eindhoven, funnily enough, in the Netherlands last year. 2:22.30. It would be lovely to see him run a big personal best. Target time 2:16.59. Well, he's going to be well shy of that, I think. And who is that in second place in the black? Is that Ram Singh Yadav? It might well be the course record holder. But Karan Singh, just 24 years old, moving well. He's well muscled, isn't he, Nikhil? He's a big lad up top for a distance runner.
Oh, that's right. He's not as lean as a lot of the distance runners are from across the world, but he seems to carry his weight well. He's got an easy running stride. Arms are not too high.
Well, he's got a race in his hands, though. If he is indeed the leading Indian, we saw another gentleman a little while ago, but it might well be that he is the leader. That's 1:07 in second place. That's Arjun Pradhan. And I think he was who we saw in the lead a little while ago. So he has been caught by Karan Singh. 1:01 has moved into the lead over the last 6 or 8 minutes. Past Arjun Pradhan, a man from the Army Sports Institute, making his debut here. And of course, experience counts for so much, although you wouldn't know it from the run of Abera winning that elite men's race. Another of the Kenyans coming home. Number 10 there, that's Peter Kosgei. His time just inside 2 hours, 15 minutes. But Karan Singh here looking for that Indian prize money, and it is good prize money for the Indians as well. It's maybe not life-changing, but it's a huge amount of money for athletes of perhaps modest background.
The top Indian finisher walks away with 5 lakh rupees here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, and there's some decent prize money on offer for the Indians. For the second place, there's 4. For third, there's 3, all the way down to the 10th place. There's 50,000 rupees on offer for the top Indian finishers here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. Karan Singh seems to be running an easy pace. I don't know what happened to Arjun Pradhan, whether he's got a bit of a cramp, but he seems to have fallen away, and Karan Singh's overtaken him.
Yes, the trouble with marathon running is that it's very hard to replicate the feeling. Look at that graph, though, how close the line, the lower line, is to the top white line. The yellow line just below it would suggest that he has really surged very, very well indeed. Now, he's looking for 2 hours, 18 minutes to book his ticket for the Indian World Championship team in Beijing, next August. He's still on Marine Drive, nearly, well, it is 2:16 on the clock. I think it's unlikely. It's several minutes run from the seafront up to the finish line. But this will nonetheless have been a fabulous run from a new personal best. As mentioned, his PB, as we say, his personal best is 2 hours 22:30. So he's got about 4.5 minutes to make it away from Marine Drive up to the finish line. Many of these top African athletes have had a very, very tough day. 13 there. Bernard Kihanya of Kenya, just 21, making his debut. In fact, he's still on Marine Drive.
I think he's just taken the turn. He's just taken the left turn from Marine Drive, and he's making his way up towards VT station, towards the start-finish line. But I think he's still got about 3 minutes and then some running left from here.
He maybe will be more concerned with just winning the race than he is about focusing on times. He's not going to be anywhere near 2:18. It's 2:17 on the clock now, and I don't think he's going to break 2:20, but it could well be a personal best, 2:22:30. So he's got 5.5 minutes in which to get inside his personal best, and that's a big step forward.
That is a big step forward, and it's a great platform to achieve your personal best on, as this is the most well-recognized and most distinguished race in Indian distance running.
There will be a degree of disappointment that the more Indians haven't gone closer to 2:20 or indeed inside 2:20. Discussions over the last couple of days I've had suggested that there was a lot of optimism that the Indian men could put several men inside 2:20. Perhaps it was over-optimistic, and it is not ideal conditions. There's no doubt about that. You know, these Indian lads and ladies really deserve the opportunity to go abroad and race in conditions where the temperature, the humidity, a lot more user-friendly. And while it's wonderful to see them supporting their home race, perhaps their home city race, and take the title for the top Indian in Mumbai, eventually, with all the hundreds and hundreds of kilometers of training you put in every month, you deserve the opportunity to go to somewhere where optimum conditions prevail, and you can produce a time that actually replicates your fitness, reflects your fitness.
We've already spoken earlier on in the broadcast today. Tim said that the ideal temperature to run a marathon is between 8 to 10 degrees.
8 to 10, you know, even up to about 14, 15. After that, you could argue that it becomes a little bit warmer than is ideal. But, you know, this is what happens in some of the big marathons where the fast times are run. It starts off almost cold and then just builds up to the mid-teens by the end of the race.
And now approaching about 9:45 in the morning here in Mumbai, the temperature should be hovering in the mid-20s. So it really is warm for these distance runners. Let's not forget, they've already been running almost 2 hours, 20 minutes, and it is exhausting.
Well, the 2:20 barrier beckons. He's moving really well. He is strong. If anything, he's accelerating. Great to see him getting applause from the crowds. Their race director, Hugh Jones, in the background, roaring him on. And he's pumping really hard now with the arms, isn't he? Just like Ram Singh Yadav, the course record holder, is very powerfully built. Big thighs. Big in the shoulders too, the rolling shoulders. He's almost like a middleweight boxer, this man. Kenyans would look at him and say, what are you doing carrying all that weight, all that muscle mass, when your power to weight ratio is so critical when you've got to run 26 miles or 42 kilometers. But he is moving well. 2:20 may be beyond him on this occasion, but surely a big, big personal best is coming his way. Well done to him. 1:01 then, the leading Indian man heads for the finish line. Karan Singh,
Union Bank.
Born in 1990, he's still only 24 years old. He won't be 25 until this coming August. 1:07, Arjun Pradhan looks very tired, doesn't he? He's lost that lead over the last 20 minutes or so, but Pradhan pushing on hard. He's in a sea of pain here, trying desperately to survive these last few hundred meters. Pradhan making his debut, but here comes our winner in the 2015 Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon in the Indian Elite Race. Karan Singh has been there before. He's run marathons before. Maybe that experience is what has enabled him to defeat Pradhan on this occasion, but there are many other good marathon runners behind him, including the course record holder Ram Singh Yadav. It won't be inside 2:20. Surely it'll be a personal best. 2:22:30 is the fastest he's ever run and in far from ideal conditions today. Listen to the crowd's roar. He's getting the recognition he deserves, and that'll put a little bit of extra bounce into his stride, another inch or two onto his stride length. He battles his way towards the line. Strong runner. This man desperately needs competition against athletes. He needs to have athletes around him. He's run these last few kilometres all on his own. Look at the time. He's going to be a minute or so inside his personal best. He's seen the clock now. 29:30, 1 minute from his personal best. 2:21:34 unofficially. A fabulous run there from Karan Singh. A personal best by almost a minute. And here is second place. Arjun Pradhan, born in 1982. Now 32 years old, but making his debut here today. Left it very, very late in his career. What a shame he didn't get some marathons under his belt a few years back. He'd have been able to bring all that experience to bear here today. And he grimaces and raises his game as he approaches the tape. Able to find that little bit of extra, digging so deep to find that extra pace. And look at this, chasing the clock, battling his way to the line there. 2:22:22 unofficially for Arjun Pradhan. That is some debut in very, very challenging marathon running conditions. 1, 2, 3 coming through, and he's got a battle on his hands against 1:19. 1, 2, 3. That is Bahadur Singh Dhoni against 1:19. Banu Pratap Singh. Good packing from the Indians there. Inside 2:23. Really good camaraderie being displayed too by those Indian athletes.
Good strong finishes by all the Indian athletes, but it's been an exhausting race for them. They've been running for the past hour and a half under quite warm conditions. The sun comes up quite strongly here in Mumbai around 8:30 in the morning, and then the temperatures start to climb very, very quickly. They'll enjoy that water being poured down their backs right now.
Oh, it'll be the most wonderful feeling. The shoes coming off too because the heat builds up in your feet. 1:22 coming home. 1:22. That is Vishram Meena. He's a 68-minute half marathon runner. This is his debut in the full marathon, and this is not bad at all. I think he's coming home in 6th place here. We'll have to check. But inside 2:24 by the looks of things. And he too, totally spent. Good run. 1:12. Sanvrod Yadav. He's a 2:26 marathon runner at his best. That was in the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon last year when he finished 5th amongst the Indians. Well, he's not as highly placed this year, but he is running much, much faster. 2:24 on the clock. He ran 2:26 exactly 12 months ago. So well done to him. And that is an indication, Nikhil, that this is a better quality race in depth for the Indian runners. You know, he's lower down the field, but he's running a lot faster than 12 months ago.
With his arms up, wearing bib number 101, our winner, or at least our leading Indian finisher, Karan Singh. He seems to be happy with his race. Also, unofficially, he's managed a new personal best as well.
Yeah, almost a minute inside his lifetime best. And that was in the Netherlands. It would have been in much, much better conditions. And he ran 2:22:30 last year in Eindhoven. Well, we can go back to the ladies now. We haven't seen them for a long time. But Dignesh Mekash, the defending champion, still in the lead. She has been for, about an hour now, for the entire second half of the race, really. 2 hours 25 on the clock. The course record then will not fall today in the ladies' race either. Remember, it was 2:24:33 by Valentin Kipketer from 2 years ago in Mumbai.
She broke almost at the halfway mark as we see more pictures of at the start-finish line. The top 3 Indian finishers celebrating. They're going to be taking home some decent prize money. 5 lakhs for the top Indian finisher, 4 for the person coming second, and 3 lakhs for the person coming third.
No better feeling than being able to stop when your feet are burning, your head is burning. You've worked so hard for well over 2 hours. And for this young lady as well, this is a big, big day at the races. Looks like she will have put up a successful defence of her title. Strangely, last year she ran 3 very good marathons in a period of just 8 months. In 2014, she won Mumbai and in 2:28:08, and then she was second in Hamburg in May, and then she ran out in China, ran in Hengshui in September, and it was less than 8 months that covered the 3 races. And I was wondering if she would have recovered maybe well enough for today's race, but she certainly has. And that again underlines her dominance. Last year, 10 of the top 20 in the world were Ethiopian. I can tell you that she was ranked 16th in Ethiopia in 2013. Last year, despite running very well, she was 24th ranked in Ethiopia. But with this win, and of course other races to come later on this year, I'm sure she'll place higher this year.
We've got Poppy down at the start-finish line, and I think she's got the Indian winner with her as we see another Indian finishing. There's Bing Koilening.
Yes.
Poppy.
Yes, I have the Indian winner, Karan Singh जी. कैसा लग रहा है आपको जीतने के बाद?
मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है.
आप दूसरी बार गोल्ड जीत गए?
दूसरी बार गोल्ड जीत गया हूँ.
कितनी मेहनत करी थी आपने?
बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनत की थी. आर्मी स्पोर्ट्स इंस्टीट्यूट पूना ने कोच, कंडीशनर, जो ऑफिसर्स लगे हुए हैं कि हमारा इंस्टीट्यूट का नाम करेगा और क्वालिफाई करेगा ओलंपिक के लिए. इसके लिए बहुत कड़ी मेहनत से.
तो कितनी ट्रेनिंग करते हैं आप?
हम 42 किलोमीटर के लिए 40 किलोमीटर लॉन्ग करते हैं और जो कोच शेड्यूल देता है उसको फॉलो करते हैं.
तो आज कैसे सेलिब्रेट करने वाले हैं आप?
आज मैं अच्छा सेलिब्रेट करूंगा. जो
Okay, thank you very much and all the best. Thank you.
Karan Singh, a product of the Army Sports Institute in Pune, and he's very happy that he's been able to live up to his expectations from the institute, and he's of course taking away 5 lakh rupees today after having been the leading Indian contender.
Well, here she comes, Dignesh Mekash, almost within reach of the finish. She will smell the finish, so to speak. She's that close, but empty road behind her, so it will have been a successful defence of her title from 2014. She's come back to retain the title, $41,000, remember, for the winner. And that name, remember it, in Amharic means wondrous one. What a wondrous run she's had today. There she is, somewhere down there, just behind that Indian finisher, 1-2-4. And the pacemaker that's been with her throughout, glancing across at her there as if to say, come on, you can do it. Steen Fincione, the 34-year-old Belgian, who's done a wonderful job. Well done to him and all the other pacemakers in ensuring that there were great races today. She raises her game a little bit. 2:29 on the clock. She won't have set the course record, she won't have set a personal best, but the victory is hers, and it's the contest that matters most of all, as we've been saying throughout the morning. Mekash, who comes from Bikoji, the renowned town of runners. As a young athlete, she was taken to Addis Ababa by an organisation called Running Across Borders and given coaching and accommodation and support to begin her running career. And she was the first to be part of that programme. And she's a classic example of what they're trying to do in East Africa, and that is to use sport to help youth achieve success in life. She's a delightful young lady, hardly speaks a word of English, but smiles almost non-stop. And there'll be a massive smile across her face as she breaks the tape any second now. Dignesh Mekash, at the age of 30, is the real deal. No personal best today, no course record, but she is the champion in 2015 in the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. Brilliant run from her. Almost exactly on 2 hours 30 in very, very hot, humid conditions, and she collapses there. She's run herself into the ground almost literally. Second place, number 29, Kumesi Shishala. Well, she's only 20 years old, this young lady. She's running her debut here today, and she's going to finish in second place. What a run she has had. Very accomplished half marathon runner, but this is some debut from her. So it's been a good day for the Ethiopians, my word. The winner in the men's race for Ethiopia, Tesfaye Abira, was a debutante. They've retained the title through Dignesh Mekash in the ladies' race. And in second place here, Sichala, another debutante, grimaces as she comes to the line. Look at the clock, inside 2:31, 2:30:54 unofficially, crosses herself and she too almost in a state of collapse. It's been a very, very tough day at the races.
It's been a very grueling race here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, but some fantastic racing nevertheless. As we go to a break, we're going to show you a little snippet of Aarti from Procam, who's been telling us what all how much work has been done for charity here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon.
We started the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon in 2004. We had 14 million rupees raised in charity for many causes. Over the years, we have seen these amounts going up exponentially to almost 220 million rupees raised in 2014 itself. Every rupee makes a difference in someone's life, and when this is done through sport, it just fills our hearts with pride. We are really privileged to have so many change runners, individuals, fundraisers, companies use this Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon as their preferred platform to give back to society.
Here's another Indian champion that's come through over the past few years here in distance running. Aged just 22 years old, from Nashik in Maharashtra. Name is Monica Athare. She idolizes another distance runner in India, Kavita Raut. And as a child, she was very inspired by watching Kavita train. And of course, she's only 22. Monica Athare.
Well, there's the view of Marine Drive from the Air India building. What a fantastic panoramic view of the city of Mumbai that is. The athletes pouring along Marine Drive there, as you can see. Well, there are big names in Mumbai, Anil, all round, both men's and women's. We've seen some out on the roads, not all of them out on the roads, though.
Not really. Here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, we've been very fortunate to have some fantastic race ambassadors, and here's one of them now. And welcoming to the studio, Elena Meyer. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank
now,
you very much.
You're a silver medalist at the Olympics, and you've been a 5-time world record holder, is that right?
Yes, I had a long career and the privilege to, get to the Olympic Games, 3 times, and really the half marathon was a distance I was very fond of, and at the end managed to break the world record 5 times. So it's a great privilege for me to be here today and celebrate distance running.
For many years, South Africa wasn't a part of the international sports community because of apartheid. What was it like when you ran in the Olympics for the first time after South Africa came out of that?
It's actually hard to explain because, I grew up in the apartheid years in South Africa. I was dreaming about going to the Olympics, but it seemed so far away. I missed out in 1984. I missed out in 1988, where I both qualified. So 1992, when I finally stepped onto the Olympic track, it was like really emotional. It was to be there. I almost had to pinch myself and realize it is reality. So it was a long road to get there, but the celebration was really sweet.
Elena, we're just going to hang on to you here for a few minutes because we've got Poppy down at the start-finish line, and she's got one of the elite men's winners with her. Poppy.
The number 2 and the number 3, but they don't speak English, so I'm going to speak to him. Luke, how was it winning?
The rest was okay. I like this country. I say thanks for the race organizer to give me a chance to come here. I was here in 2012, but I was number 6. But this time I tried my best. I was number 3.
Wow, from 6 to 3. But is the condition good for you to run here?
Yes, good condition because I've won several races in odd condition like this one. I've run in Singapore, in China, in odd places. But I'm happy to run again in this race. I'm very happy.
Well, congratulations. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Looks like Luke's happy with his race and he's also very happy with India. Elena, what about you? How's India been treating you?
It's been amazing. I've once visited about 9 years ago. It's fantastic to come back and just see how the city has embraced running and the marathon. It's unbelievable. It really is an example and a celebration of running. Standing out there and just see how many people participate. To celebrate, the activity, and be part of it. It doesn't matter if you run, the dream run or if you run the marathon, but you are part of, of the running movement. And that's really amazing to see, what has been achieved, to come from a nation with not necessarily having a running, background, and, to see how it has been transformed and changed, So it's lovely to be back, and to witness, what has been achieved. And I can just congratulate, the whole team that has worked like so hard to get there.
It is fantastic. There's been such a transformation over the past 10 years, especially for running in India. Now, as race ambassador, you must have several duties, but what's it been like on the grandstand? Have you had a good time?
Absolutely. It's like really absorbing an amazing atmosphere. I think talking about big city marathons, it's always, exhibiting the city, and standing here in Mumbai today on the grandstand, I can experience a part of India, a part of Mumbai. Every single marathon has got a different flavor to it. And, it was just a privilege to stand there today and just see so much energy, non-stop, just keep on going. And that's the beauty about the marathon. Every single marathon, even though a marathon is 42.2 kilometers, going to run the London Marathon versus the Boston Marathon with a heritage of over like almost 120 years old, running in New York, celebrating people, I think, running in Chicago, running in Berlin, the fastest marathon. So every single marathon has got such a unique flavor, and that's why, it's so important to, if you're running a marathon, like really travel the world and go and experience the different city marathons. We newly launched the Cape Town Marathon, and with the same, it's the mother city of South Africa, and we want to invite the world to come and experience.
That must be a very picturesque marathon as well, but the course is quite up and down over there in Cape Town.
No, it's a pretty flat course. There's one climb, but the backdrop is Table Mountain. You see Robben Island. It hugs the ocean. And you really get to see and experience Cape Town and the flavour of Cape Town. So certainly one of those must-do runs for the future.
Okay, Elena, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for being a race ambassador here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We're going to take a short break right now, but make sure that you stick around because we've got more action coming up from the Dream Run. Here's another distance runner who's been doing really well in India over the past few years. Preeja Sridharan. She's 33 years old and she's been running for quite a few years. She's from Kerala. She unfortunately lost her father very young at the age of 4 and had to battle poverty and support her family, but never ever lost the hunger to win laurels for the country and for herself. Preeja Sridharan. Now, you're watching pictures from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon coming to you live on Star Sports, and we've also been talking about the Star Sports Believe Award. There are 6 contenders for the Star Sports Believe Award, and Paras is out with one of them right now. Paras.
Well, I'm with Jatin Shah, who has literally been putting that belief to so much that it's been incredible. Jatin, actually now, it's for the first time ever, at the 38-kilometer walk. You haven't done this before.
No, I did only 35 in my life, and this is about 35, so I'm really enjoying. I'm facing what is happening after 35, and now 42 is not far away from me.
No. So this is what life is after 35. It's incredible. Now, in terms of your heart rate and in terms of just pushing yourself, how's it holding up for you?
So after 35, I was not sure whether I'll be able to do 42 or not. But now it seems very easy and very, very, very comfortable for me.
Yeah, he's looking just about as happy and cool and composed as he was when he started the marathon, so it's working really well for you. So far now, was there any part in this whole race where your heartbeat was like going through the roof?
No, actually, I was constantly monitoring my heart rate to remain between 150 and 170. Yeah. So I kept my promise to my coaches to not to speed more and to keep cool throughout the run, so I did it.
I like it. He kept his cool, he kept his calm, and more importantly, he kept his belief. I love this man.
There are over 40,000 people taking part in the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon this year in 2015, but amongst them are 6 special Believe contenders. These are people who are running to achieve their own personal goals, and they're all in contention for the Star Sports Believe Award. That's the Star Sports Believe Award that will be given to one of those 6 contenders at the end of today's broadcast. And here are those contenders. There's Jatin Shah, who's a distance runner battling high blood pressure. There's Suchita Varadkar, who's leading the 5-hour bus here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. Fighting against discrimination against disability, Manjinder Singh Dhillon. Taking part in the Champions with Disability race, Sunita Sancheti. Goldie Singh, a taxi driver who was inspired to run and improve his health. Using music to educate children, Manish Dhiman. Those were our 6 contenders for the Star Sports Believe Award, and by the end of today, we'll be giving that award to one person. It is a prestigious award, and it's being presented by Star Sports. You're watching the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. I'm Nikhil Chinappa, and you're watching these pictures live on Star Sports as well. We've still got lots of action coming up. We've just about, we're going to go back to the Indian women's finish as well, and of course, lots of pictures from the Dream Run as we see a fantastic image from the Air India building.
Well, there, and you can see the result of that senior men's race, the elite men's race. Tesfaye Abir at 2:09:46, wonderfully isolated there, the winner, as he was the only one under 2 hours 10 minutes today, just outside the course record from 2 years ago, 2:09:32. Dereje Debele 2:10:31, and Luke Kibet completes the rostrum athletes 2:10:57. Kibet, of course, a former world champion. Good running though from them. And in the Indian men's competition, Karan Singh winning in 2:21:35, a personal best by nearly a minute, ahead of Arjun Pradhan and Bahadur Singh Dhoni, who also make it onto the rostrum. A lot of Indian men under 2 hours 30. Well, the women's elite race was won in exactly 2 hours 30 minutes by last year's champion. She retained her title, Dinknesh Mekash of Ethiopia. Kumesh Sichala taking 2nd place, and it was a 1-2-3 with Marta Megra in 3rd place for Ethiopia. But nobody today under that 2 hour 30 barrier. It was warm and tough out there.
You're watching pictures on Star Sports, and it was interesting to see in the women's race, Lalita Babar made it into the top 10. She was at number 9, so that was a good finish for her as well. Conditions over here in India being very, very testing.
Very good run from Lalita Babar, and of course, to be confirmed, but we believe that the first Indian woman got the World Championship qualifying mark of 2 hours 44 minutes. We can take a look at the Indian women now. There they are, the first 3 Indian women. Lalita Babar to the left of picture there, whereas 151, the defending champion from last year. She won last year in 2:50:31. She said she was in shape to go many, many minutes quicker, and we believe she was today, running around 2 hours 42, 2 hours 43 minutes. That to be confirmed. But Babar, very, very impressive yet again, and retaining her title in the Indian women's contest, as Mekash did in the elite women's contest.
Also, if you're not mistaken, Tim, those Indian women were under the qualifying time for the Beijing Championship?
2:44 was the time they needed to hit to get into the team for Beijing, those World Championships in China in August, and they've done it today. So brilliant running from them. Unfortunately, the Olympic Games in Rio next year have an 18-month lead time in which they can get the qualifying time for the Olympic marathon. So they're just outside that. Of course, that period kicks off in about March with 18 months to go before Rio.
Well, let's go down to Poppy right now because she's there with the Indian women's winner. Poppy.
Yes, I have OP Jaisha with me. कैसा लग रहा है जयशा आपको जीतकर?
हाँ, बहुत खुश है क्योंकि मैं 1500 मीटर का रनर हूँ. मैं पहली बार लाइफ में पहली बार फुल मैराथन भाग रही हूँ. इसमें मैं फर्स्ट आ गया. मुझको मैं बहुत खुश हूँ क्योंकि मेरा अभी वर्ल्ड चैम्पियनशिप का क्वालिफाई भी हो गया इससे.
वर्ल्ड चैंपियन भी क्वालिफाई हो गया?
जी, 244 था, मैं 237 समथिंग, आई थिंक नेशनल रिकॉर्ड भी ब्रेक हो गया. आई एम वेरी हैप्पी.
ओके, आपने कितनी ट्रेनिंग कितनी करी आपने?
बहुत अच्छा तैयारी करके आया, बट मैं कितना तक सोचा इतना तक हमारा रेस नहीं निकला क्योंकि पहली बार एक्सपीरियंस कम है, क्योंकि मैं पहले से वो अच्छा एथलेट का साथ ही गया था, इसलिए शायद मेरा टाइम भी अच्छा आ गया.
मौसम कैसा लगा आपको?
हम लोग ऊटी में ट्रेनिंग कर रहे थे, उधर में तो 0 डिग्री 1 2 3 डिग्री में प्रैक्टिस करके इधर में हमको थोड़ा सा गर्मी लग रहा था, बट मौसम सबके लिए बराबर है, इसलिए नफा.
मैंने आपको देखा कि आप बिल्कुल थक गई थी, इसके बाद बिल्कुल लेट गई थी, क्या हो गया था?
जरूर, क्योंकि मैं 1500 मीटर का भागती हूँ. 1500 मीटर कहाँ है, 42 किलोमीटर कहाँ है, क्योंकि ओनली 2 मंथ का प्रिपरेशन है हमारा. मेरा कोच डॉक्टर निकोलाई, वो मेरे लिए अभी मैराथन के लिए, वर्ल्ड चैम्पियनशिप के लिए, नेक्स्ट ओलंपिक्स के लिए हमारे तैयार है। ऐसा हमें कंपटीशन के लिए रियल में इधर में कंपटीशन नहीं था, हमारा एंडोरेंस लेवल कितना तक है वो चेक करना था।
चलिए, thank you very much and congratulations once again. That was the winner with me. Thank you.
Opi Jaisha, the leading Indian woman there at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, she was talking about what a big difference it is from running 1,500 meters, which she normally used to run, to running 42 kilometers.
It's very different, of course. I mean, that said, that you have to train very hard to be a middle distance runner, run 800, 1,500, 3,000 meters. You might be running 80, 90 kilometers a week or more, and that's, I don't know, 80% of what you need to do for a marathon. So a lot of the basic work is done as a middle distance runner to prepare yourself for a marathon career. And it's interesting that she was a 1,500 meter runner, has moved up to the marathon and found pretty immediate success.
She also spoke about training in Ooty at temperatures that were about 1 or 2 degrees, and the weather over here was a little uncomfortable for them. But she was gracious enough to say that everybody had the same weather, so they just wanted to test their own endurance, and now they're looking forward to, of course, the Olympics in Rio and the Beijing Championship as well.
Yeah, the World Championships in Beijing are just a few months away in the Bird's Nest. Remember those amazing games in 2008, which were made all the more memorable in the Bird's Nest by Usain Bolt, breaking the world record in the 100 meters, the 200 meters, and the relay, the sprint relay with his Jamaican teammates. And he repeated the feat, went even quicker the following year in the World Championships in Berlin. But we all return to the Bird's Nest in August for the World Championships in the Chinese capital.
As we see images of people finishing their marathon, the half marathon runners, full marathon runners, Paris is down with another contender. Paris.
All right, so I'm not just with the contender, I'm with the cool pacer who's actually bringing it in. Suchita, where are we at the marathon now?
We're 4 kilometers away.
All right, now what's going to be happening so far? It's been a tough one. It's been 38 kilometers. You guys look like you're at a party. This is a carnival.
It's a little hot today, but yeah, we're doing fine.
Now, at any point, was there any team member who was just falling? They were like, oh my God, this is too much. What did Suchita do then?
No, we were just drawing energy from each other.
Now, one of the things that I've been falling in love with is the fact that there are so many people just cheering you, random people, right, strangers. What's the one message to them?
Just run, enjoy yourself, yeah. The life, running is beautiful, and just keep doing it.
I love it. Running is beautiful. Just keep doing it.
Suchita also said earlier on that running is like meditation and motion together. Suchita, of course, is one of our Believe contenders for the Star Sports Believe Award, and she's leading the 5-hour bus and looks quite happy doing it.
She's fantastically optimistic, isn't she? Just full of energy and happiness. Look, smiles all the time. I think it was medication in motion, wasn't it? Was the phrase used. I love that. I'm going to put that on a T-shirt somewhere. Medication in motion. But she looks like she's out of medicine. She's certainly in motion. She's moving really well. And she has not stopped smiling. It's really lovely to see.
Wonderful, charming smile. And looks like that bus is on Marine Drive right now. And it's a fantastic scenery to run by. The ocean on one side and lots of beautiful buildings on the other. Paris.
Come guys, we'll just put in a word with you all. Just with you guys. So, yes, here's the fun part, right? You've obviously got the pacer. Suchita's making sure you guys are all. Did you train a lot?
Yeah, she has been training us since last so many years, every day, the whole week. And that is why we are running so strong.
I like it. She's like, Suchita is really the person to be. Tell me about the marathon. What's the one part you completely love about Mumbai like this in the morning?
You can just enjoy it with people supporting, and they're coming for cheering in the morning.
I love one of the banners which says, random stranger, come hug me. And I think that's been the sentiment which has been all across Mumbai today. I absolutely love it. What about you? How are you feeling now?
Oh, I'm from Delhi, and I think these two girls are pulling us very well together. I had given up almost at about halfway, and then I found them. So Bombay guys are really running strong. We don't have the weather in Delhi to run at this time, so really supported by these guys. And the crowd is fantastic. You guys are awesome.
This just got real. The Delhi guy says the Mumbai girls are cheering me, and how this is why the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon is so special.
Well, actually, the weather is much nicer in Delhi right now for distance running, at least. It's, I think, around 10 degrees.
It would be just about perfect, yeah. I mean, I know Delhi gets cold weather by Mumbai standards, much colder than you ever get in Mumbai.
That's right, much colder. I mean, Delhi sometimes drops down to about 3 or 4 degrees, and of course, there's lots of fog there as well, and that would make running all the more interesting, in my opinion. Still watching pictures from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon coming to you live on Star Sports. Don't forget, we've got 6 Believe contenders for the Star Sports Believe Award, and by the end of this broadcast, we'll be giving that award away to one of those contenders. And all of those contenders taking part in different races, in different categories. 3 of them, of course, running the full marathon. It's time now to take a short break on Standard Chartered from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, but make sure that you come back because there's lots more action happening on the Dream Run.
With each passing edition of SAMM, we've been seeing the rise of serious amateurs doing the marathon. These are typical working athletes doing 9-to-5 shift and simultaneously juggling with their responsibilities as professionals, family members and parents. The repeat customers of the event register by default every year, resulting in the running places filling up in a matter of hours. The number of people doing the half marathon and full marathon have almost tripled, with an overwhelming turnout for Dream Run and half marathon. Being the race that kicks off the running calendar, it is a clear favorite among the running community. Over 40,000 participated in the event last year, and this year it clearly promises to be even better.
Welcome back. You're watching the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. Its 12th edition in 2015, live on Star Sports. Now, Star Sports has also initiated a Believe Award, and there's 6 contenders that are vying for the award. One of them is this girl, Suchita, who's leading the 5-hour bus around the marathon. Tim, what does she look like?
Well, she moves pretty well. She's got a nice steady rhythm. There's a little bit too much swaying of the shoulders. I don't imagine that flag helps her. She seems totally oblivious to that flag, which is tucked into that belt she's wearing. It's flapping from side to side violently, but she's obviously oblivious of it, so it's not bothering her. That smile never moves.
Paras, what's happening with Suchita?
Oh, I love it. It's like carnival. You know, we're at this incredibly cool zone. Now, of course, we're at the place which is like the party zone. Marine Drive couldn't be a cooler place. Suchita, look at it. It's like a meet and greet. Suchita, all right. The coolest part, how many friends have you run into today?
Today, I think my entire group of 150 people, plus so many who are my Facebook friends. And
You have to tell me one quick tip, all right? When you meet a friend when you're running the marathon, you don't want to waste too much time. How do you politely say, hey, but I'm going to keep running?
Yes, we cheer and say, come on, you're doing fine. And we keep running.
It's just awesome. There's Suchita on the run and how.
There's Paras with Suchita, one of our Believe contenders, and Poppy actually has Suchita's mother at the finish line. Poppy.
Yes, I have Suchita's mother, Mrs. Shaila. आपको कैसा लग रहा है आप उनको भागते हुए देख रहे हैं?
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है मुझे. इतना खुशी हो गई है कि मैं बोल नहीं सकती. इतना खुशी हो गई. मैं रोना आने लगा. खुशी से रोना आने लगा मुझे.
She's being very emotional over here. I saw her crying, looking at her daughter. आप बताइए कितनी ट्रेनिंग करती हैं वो?
वो 10 साल से कर रही है ट्रेनिंग.
और रोज ट्रेनिंग करती है?
रोज ट्रेनिंग करते हैं. सुबह 5:30 बजे जाती है और ट्रेनिंग करने के लिए.
जब आपने पहली बार उनको सुना था कि वो ट्रेनिंग करना चाहती हैं, ऐसा भागना चाहती हैं, उनकी सर्जरी हुई थी, तो आपका रिएक्शन क्या था?
बस वो टाइम मुझे बुरा लगा. मैं उसको बोलती थी अभी मत करो करके. तो उसको आदत अच्छा लगता है, इसलिए उसने बोला मैं नहीं छोड़ने वाली.
और आज आपको खुशी है?
खुशी है आज मुझे.
Like all mothers, she's emotional but yet proud of her daughter. Thank you very much. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Poppy. A very emotional mother there of Suchita's. And of course, let's go back to see how Suchita's doing on Marine Drive right now on the last leg of her Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon.
Isn't it really cool? I love this. Now, I want you to take a really good look at Suchita. Suchita is cool. She's calm. She's also a mom of how old is the baby?
18-year-old girl, and I love you, Shifra. Where are you?
Isn't that incredible? How does the big mama run so much?
I just run. It's my passion. It's meditation in motion for me, and I just simply love doing it.
Now, do you also inspire your daughter to go out and say, come on, baby, you've got to run with me?
Yes, I would. I always inspire. She's my gym buddy. She's my swimming partner, and I love her to death.
Hey, listen, you know what the thing about Mumbai Marathon? It's got so much love spreading. That's a really big guy. Hip hip! Hip hip!
We want to catch up. We want to catch up.
Go, let's go get the daughter.
There's Suchita trying to run the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, and Paras has turned it into a bit of a party with everybody dancing on the streets. Now, joining me in studio is longtime race ambassador and, of course, a big fan of the sport as well, John Abraham. John, welcome back.
Thank you.
How many years have you been associated with the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon now?
9 to 10 years.
Almost all of them?
Yeah, practically. This first 2 years, I think I was in Nepal.
And what's it been like this year for you?
It's been special. I mean, we've got 15,000 run the half marathon, 20,000 the dream, approximately.
Bit of a bottleneck in the dream run. Everybody wants to stop and take pictures of you.
Yeah. But it's lovely because I'm associated only with this because I don't go for any award function. It's the only public function that I come for, so I really enjoy it.
I think we just need to get your mic fixed up, John. We're going to go back to some pictures over here of the dream run. We see some people. These are actually people wearing the half marathon bib. They're still coming through. They've started the race at about 6 o'clock in the morning. And they're still running. Of course, don't forget the amateur full Mumbai Marathon started off at 5:20 in the morning. As we see Manjinder, who's on his way. Manjinder is one of our contenders for the Star Sports Believe Award. And he's also looks like on his last legs, running the last lap of the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon.
Well, and also, Nikhil, when you see him amongst all those other runners, you realise what a small chap he is in stature as well. So he's getting swamped by some of those runners going past him there. He does look very, very tired indeed. But he's taking part and he's going to get there. We saw the elite athletes almost in a state of collapse, 20 minutes ago when they finished their races. So it's perfectly legitimate to be thoroughly spent. .4:44 on the clock. His best time is 5 hours, so he's going really well as Manjinder Singh Dylan. He's given everything and just a little bit more to give before he gets to that finish line.
For those of you who didn't catch his Believe package, he was born with his sight impaired and he's partially blind, and he's running the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon to raise a voice against discrimination against people with disability.
And hasn't he done that well today? He spoke so eloquently in that interview we showed earlier on. And he's underlining it with a really gutsy performance here today, running faster than he ever has done. Says he wants to run 9 marathons in total. He'll be satisfied when he's run 9 marathons. But this is one more he's chalked up today in very, very difficult conditions. It's getting warm out there. Deep in concentration. Partially sighted. Walking just a few minutes ago, has raised his game for one final surge towards the line, which he gets across now. Well done.
Well done, Manjinder. Really good race, and it looks like he's also better at his personal best. He was trying to, his previous personal best was 5 hours, and I think he just did it in over 5 hours and 46 minutes, and he gets some hugs from friends and family. Tim, what's his body going through right now? Is it completely depleted of all energy?
Depleted of energy. Liquid is the most important thing to get into yourself. And then, of course, there's like a sort of golden hour, they say, when you finish a really exhaustive sport in which you've got to get energy in. And natural sugar is the best thing. Apples, fruit, get really natural sugars into your system as quickly as you can.
He really does need to take a breath.
Brilliant effort. Really gutsy run. Your feet burning up in this sort of temperature after 5 hours plus on your feet. And yes, cold water you need to be poured over your head, over your extremities, anywhere where the big blood vessels come to the surface.
Poppy, can Manjinder talk?
Yes, I think he can. Manjinder, how are you feeling?
Amazing. I don't have words to express my feeling.
How difficult was it to run in the sun?
It was a bit difficult, but I don't know how I fared out, but I guess there were some cramps after 30 kilometers. When at 37 kilometers, I removed my shoes, and that made me to finish it. Otherwise, I would have put it down because the shoes were getting heavy to me. But I was fine. Maybe next year I can come and do a better performance.
Did you meet your target?
I don't know. I have to check in.
Well, Manjinder, you completed it and you completed it well. I want you to go and celebrate. It was a wonderful thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Poppy. I think a few problems with Poppy's mic over there as we see images of Jitin Shah, another one of our Believe contenders who's also running the full marathon. He's taking his pace a little easier. He, of course, has blood pressure problems and he's taken to running to try and deal with that. And his health has become a lot better since he's taken to running. We're going to take a short break now from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, but make sure that you come back because we've still got some more images and some more stories coming your way.
The resources deployed during the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon are significant in scale. There are 2,000 plus volunteers deployed at different parts of the course. We have over 415 medical personnel, 8 ambulances and 5 medics on bikes. These facilities are equivalent to any hospital. The stocking of refreshments like oranges, enerzal and water is done adequately all along the route. This is particularly kept at the later half of the race to benefit all the slow marathon and half marathon runners.
Mandar there taking us through some of the numbers over there, and very impressive, 73,000 litres of water out on the course here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. And joining us once again in the studio, John Abraham. John, what's the atmosphere been like outside over there?
Oh, it's been amazing, but it's slightly warmer than it was yesterday in the morning and day before in the morning. And I feel, if I'm right, I think they missed the course record by 2 seconds or something.
Just a little bit over that. I mean, yeah.
Just a little bit over that, and I really thought it's going to be tough to break the course record.
Tim, you were talking about how this weather is worth 3 or 4 minutes for the Kenyans.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, warm conditions are definitely just a disadvantage physically, especially in the second half of the race when the temperatures are climbing here in Mumbai. So it's arguable how much you could take off their times because of the temperature, but probably a couple of minutes at least, maybe more, maybe up to about 3 minutes. So, you know, a 2:09 run here could well be worth a 2:06 or 2:07. It doesn't matter because the competition was fantastic. They've come here, they get great competition and big prize money. But, you know, they will go away in April and May and find a race where they will produce that time.
John, we've also been talking about how much money the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon has raised for charity, just under 110 crores.
Yeah.
You also support a few charities, don't you?
Yeah, I support a few charities, Make-A-Wish and Habitat for Humanity, Ehsan Foundation, National Association for the Blind, Indian Cancer Society, PETA, SPCA, so a number of them, Concern, Cry. And it's nice when all these charities come under one roof and, you know, you're known to support a cause that feeds all these charities. So it's great to be here.
There's one platform that's being able to provide for all of these charities.
Yeah.
And over here, the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, one of the directors of ProCam that runs the marathon told us that some of the charity bibs were selling it up to 40,000 rupees for a bib, which is fantastic.
Fantastic. The demand's unprecedented, and I'm so happy to hear that.
That's excellent. Now, down below the start-finish line, I do believe we are ready for the presentation ceremony. Let's go down.
Well, there is the 2007 world champion Luke Kibet, who took 3rd place in that elite men's race. Kibet, a great champion back in 2007. Debele taking 2nd place today. Dereje Debele, the 28-year-old Ethiopian. But it was a win for the Ethiopians today as well in that elite men's race with a debutante, Tesfaye Abera, just 22 years old, running 2 hours, 9 minutes and 44 seconds, just some 10 or 12 seconds outside the course record. There is Kibet from Paco Barao getting his medal. Paco Barao, of course, the president of AIMS, the Association of International Marathons and Road Races, who is attending the event this year for the first time. 2nd place there, Debele getting his medal. And the new champion, and what a talent the Ethiopians have found here. This young man had never raced a marathon before. He was an accomplished half marathon runner, but he's now the Mumbai champion. And we can confirm those times to you once more. Abera there, isolated with that 2:09.46, winning by what, some 45 seconds or so from Debele in 2nd place. Kibet getting the Ethiopians onto the rostrum, but the place times dropping away pretty quickly and the temperature really taking its toll today with a lot of high quality East Africans. Well, Seiko giving a new watch to each of the athletes who make it onto the rostrum. That's absolutely fabulous. Kibet there, getting that Seiko watch. Debele likewise. And of course the champion Abera, who will, I'm sure, be receiving the best watch he's ever owned. That young man has earned $41,000 today to take back to Addis Ababa, as well as a glorious Seiko watch.
$41,000 going to the winner of the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, the men's category. That's a decent amount of money, as Tim, you've already explained to us, especially in Africa where living conditions are very different and the buying power of a dollar over there is much higher as well. John, I want to talk about what you did for training when you were in school and college, because you weren't always this size. So what sports did you take part in?
You know, talking about a marathon, I took part in a marathon once and twice.
Did you?
Then, yeah, so I've been doing 10Ks pretty regularly, even till recently.
Okay.
I run 10Ks, and the most important thing is to hydrate yourself. This is the seeing and believing gentleman out there.
This is the Star Sports Believe contender, Jitin Shah, who's running with conditions.
Fantastic.
Blood pressure issues. And he's taken to distance running and improved his blood pressure condition. And the doctor has actually taken him off medication now.
Wow. It's amazing.
This is really impressive and inspiring because, you know, blood pressure issues are something that plagues a lot of people in our country, right across India.
Yeah, and now that I have a production house and a football team, my pressure's rising.
Is it?
So,
But you know, running has been the most wonderful vehicle in which people have improved their lives. You know, running across India is improving lives every week, every month. And this gentleman is looking very, very calm.
Fantastic, yeah.
And composed, I have to say.
Looks very comfortable. He looks like he could do it all over again. He doesn't look unduly perturbed, just huffing a little bit. And what's important to note is that Jitin's never run a full marathon before. He's done a half, but he's never ever done a full.
Well, it's new territory he's in. He's hurting more now than he ever has before, but he's, despite the puffing, he's got the energy to point one finger at the sky, pump hard with the arms, and make a charge for the finish line. Brilliant effort from him. He said about half an hour ago his heart rate was 173, which sounds dangerously high, but he said as long as it was around 170 and not much higher, he'd be okay.
He's
Look at
literally
that.
dancing across the line, dancing across the line. Fantastic celebration from Jitin Shah. Well done, under 5 hours as well. What a fantastic race he's had. Poppy.
Hey, Jatin! Oh my God, that's some celebration. Jatin, you finally completed your first full marathon. How are you feeling right now?
I'm out of the world. I cannot express. Yeah.
And all your friends are here to cheer for you. Please say something to them.
Oh, friends are my life, and for them I ran here.
So how are you going to celebrate?
There is a big party over there.
There's a big party waiting for everyone?
Yeah, for everyone.
शैंपेन का बॉटल फोड़ेंगे हम लोग लाके रखे शैंपेन का बॉटल फोड़ेंगे पहला
Okay, 3 cheers for Jatin. Finally, Jatin did it. Thank you very much and congratulations. Back to the studio.
Thank you very much, Poppy. Definitely some celebrations in order there for Jitin Shah. His friends say that they're going to crack open a bottle of champagne. Now, another belief contender is down with Paras. Paras.
Hey, Nikhil, you've got us at such a... The coolest place ever. This is the moment that we've been waiting for because this officially... So, what does this mark mean?
We'll come back to that because I think we've got some problems with the broadcast over there from Paras's mic. There's been some fantastic images over here from at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. John, what did you think of that celebration of Jatin's as he crossed over the line?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, how many people do a 42? And with all his, with his handicap of his pressure problems, to do a 42 is absolutely fabulous. I think a lot of people watching this will be inspired.
It's apparently a hereditary problem. His father passed away at an early age with the same problems.
Right.
And he told us that when he started experiencing the same problems and started to get on a medication, that's not the life that he wanted to lead. And then he started running, and then he's come off the meds.
And you know what Tim said, his heart rate going up to 173, it's dangerously high because when we run on the treadmill and it goes up to about 175, 180, you know your heart's pounding.
Very, very severe stress.
Yeah.
I mean, he did say that on camera about half an hour ago when he was running, between 150 and 170 was the range he'd been told. And he's, as long as he said he's not far ahead. But look at this. I bet he was heart rate about 200 as he comes towards the line there, celebrating. The knees are high, the arms in the air. The fatigue's all gone.
Yeah, where do you get the extra energy from? It's awesome.
Isn't adrenaline an amazing substance?
It's the bottle of champagne. He's running towards the bottle of champagne. Now, right now, Paras is with Suchita, who's another one of our belief contenders. Paras, can you hear us? Paras, how's Suchita's race going on?
Yeah, it's the last 300 meters to finish. Suchita, how are we feeling?
Lovely on top of the world.
I love it. Does she look like someone who's run? How much have you run today, Suchita? Just so that everyone knows.
42.
Say it again. How much?
42.
42 kilometers. Look at her. It's not like she's even breaking into sweat. Where's the daughter?
I don't know. I'm waiting for her.
You think you're going to get a surprise at the finish line?
I think so.
Yeah. She's 18, eh?
Yes.
Gorgeous like her mother?
I hope so.
You know where I'm getting with this?
Better than me.
Yeah, I'm going to go find her. I'll go congratulate her, yeah?
Wow, great.
But that's fantastic. You've done such a splendid job of motivating everyone.
Paras, you too.
Awesome.
You've been great.
Thank you very much. Off to the finish line, yo.
Paras, you naughty, naughty man. Leave Suchita's daughter alone, will you? Suchita's got that wonderful smile on her face, and She looks just absolutely incredible. John, what do you think about that?
Amazing. I mean, she's done a 42, waiting for her daughter at the finish line. I just thought Paris would be arrested for eve teasing or something. But great. I mean, these guys running 42. This is the highest number that's run 42 this year.
We've had an increase of over 600 people who've gone from the half into the full marathon this year. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, my friends are running the 42. I was shocked. He came and met me yesterday from Cochin. He's running the 42. So it's so credible that Suchita is doing a 42. I'm really excited to see if her daughter's waiting for her.
Do you know what? The amount of energy she's used in smiling and talking and waving her arms around the place during those, she could have run about 20 minutes faster. She just concentrated.
She definitely could have.
She's actually got the balance right because she's been smiling throughout the entire marathon.
Is Paris trying to click a selfie?
I think Paris is trying to do the selfie thing, and he's actually done a great job today. He's been out on the course the entire day, and he's been catching up with runners along the course and chatting with them. Paris, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Nikhil. Oh my God, we're at the finish line now. We're literally there, all right? You're going to see this. You're going to see Suchita, and you're going to see her friends literally crossing the finish line. There you go, all right? They're about to cross, they're about to cross, they're about to cross. And that moment to do it is now.
It's a fantastic finish for Suchita as well. And her friends waiting for her across the finish line, giving her a big hug. She's run that as the head of the 5-hour bus. I'm not sure how many other people managed to keep that pace and finish the bus with her, but she's really, really happy. One of our Believe contenders here, vying for the Star Sports Believe Award. Well done, Suchita. Fantastic scenes of celebration.
You can't buy happiness like that. They were about a minute outside the 5-hour mark, and so it was a really, really good job done by her to guide those runners through at the right pace. Well, it's admirable work from Suchita there to bring them home in pretty much exactly the time that was expected. You know, these people are not automatons, they're not machines. They've got to get the pace right all the way through 5K, 10K, halfway, 25K, 30K. She nearly hit the nail right on the head. Brilliant job.
Let's also go back to Poppy right now. No, not yet. I'm going to come back to John. John, how important is sport in your life? I mean, what would your life be like without sport?
I think it's the most important thing in my life. It's more important than films for me. It's a lifestyle. That's why I have a football team, a field hockey team, and I want to encourage sport as much as I can. It's really so important. I can't even tell you. It runs my life.
Trick question, which one's more important to you, the hockey team or the football team?
The football team.
Is it?
Yeah, because I'm invested more in the football team.
Which sport do you enjoy following the most? I'm assuming it's not cricket.
It's MotoGP and football. Both of them. I love motorcycles, so I follow the MotoGP, and I'm a big fan and a friend of Valentino Rossi.
Okay.
And I think he's the greatest rider that's ever ridden a motorcycle after Agostini.
He is gifted.
And of course, football. I watched the English Premier League, the La Liga, the Bundesliga, the Serie A, and the...
So when do you get time to actually do your films then?
I have been on a break after Madras Cafe for 1.5 years, trust me. No good scripts. So maybe when I get a good script, I'll do a good film.
Okay. Do you want to give some advice to youngsters in India who are right now sitting at home and watching this broadcast, you know, not getting out and running, not taking part in any sporting activity? Do you want to give them some advice?
Yeah, the most disturbing thing I've seen with a lot of youngsters today is the fact that they're always on their iPads and on their PlayStations and Xboxes. My only piece of advice is go out, play a sport, not necessarily football, not cricket, but anything that actually keeps you moving. Roll in the mud if you have to. Get your hands dirty, get your face dirty. Kabaddi, just play something and just be active and lead a healthy lifestyle, because parents today don't really look into what their kids are doing, and I'd really want kids to get out there and just have a great time and stay away from drugs, stay away from alcohol, and stay away from anything that's really bad for your body and your system.
Tim, of course, you've been a champion distance runner as well. Do you want to talk about the benefits of running?
Sorry,
Do you want to talk about the benefits of running?
Well, you know, the benefits of running at elite level are arguable, because you get injured, you get ill, you're like a finely tuned Formula One race car. But actually, for the majority of people who just like to get out and run 3 or 4 times a week, there are huge benefits, not just to yourself and your health, but actually there's evidence now as proof that it affects the family around you and your family. Their diet improves, people stop smoking, and so on.
Let's go down to Poppy right now, because she's got some more people with her. Poppy.
Well, I have Suchita and her mother with me, and there's a very emotional moment happening here.
Whatever I am today is because of this amazing lady. Amazing lady who has been behind me like rock support. And my daughter quietly sitting there, standing there, she has surprised me. Both of them have been awesome. My mother always had one grouse. 10 years you're running, but my butku can't be seen on TV. Today I'm on TV, Mom. And this is just for you. This is just for you.
And say something to your daughter. She's been crying.
My daughter is so supportive of me. I hope God gives this kind of daughter to the whole world. I am blessed. I'm the most blessed mother in this world.
Okay, we have something special for you. So, can we have the headset? Okay, come this side.
This is an interesting surprise. We're putting on a headset and there's a story.
There is something very interesting which is going to play.
Without you, this run would not have been possible. Finally, we have achieved a 5-hour bus. Thank you so very much for everything.
I was so sure you would come out with such flying colors. Congratulations.
You always had the self-belief and so did all of your students. We never doubted that you will not do this. Hats off to this incredible feat of yours.
Couldn't have done this without the support of my extended family. Top Gear rocks.
So proud
I
of
love
you
you
and we are
all,
proud
my
to be a part of your
trainees.
team.
Super.
We love you,
So lovely. My mom.
Well, that was it. Auntie, do you want to give this to her, please? This has been autographed by everyone.
I'm so proud. I shall treasure this for the rest of my life. This is the best treasure. And I shall keep it close to my heart all the time.
Well, congratulations once again. And please do celebrate today.
Yes, surely. Thank you so much.
Tell me something. What does the t-shirt say? Can you just read that out?
Oh. Best of luck, Shailesh. There's Prashant and there is...
It says Iron Lady.
Oh, how sweet. You know, I must tell you this. Last time when I was running the marathon, there was some gentleman who came from behind and he said, you know, your t-shirt says Top Gear. It should not be Top Gear. It should be Iron Lady of Top Gear. And somebody has really done this this year for me, so I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And this boy has been great. Dhruv, Siddharth and the whole Initium TV team has been great. Procam,
well,
SCMM.
She's super excited. Thank you very much and back to the studio.
Fantastic, Poppy. A vote of thanks there from Suchita as well. She's had a fantastic day today, running the entire 42-kilometer course in just over 5 hours. You're watching these pictures live on Star Sports of the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. John, what do you think of those pictures of Suchita and her family, the Iron Lady?
Well, I think a lot of people should learn from her positivity. She's so positive, so excited, so happy, and I think she is truly an Iron Lady today. She's done the 42, she's happy, and she's got great support from her friends and family.
And very emotional there with her mother and her daughter as well. John, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you, Nikhil.
See you again soon.
Thank you, Tim.
And we're going to take a short break now from the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, but come back for more action. We've had a fantastic day of racing here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, and as we've been telling you, we've had 6 contenders for the Star Sports Believe Award. And one of those people is going to be presented that award by John Abraham right now. He's a person who for several years has had a problem with his blood pressure, but he's taken to running to make his health better and also reduce his blood pressure as well. Jitin Shah, congratulations.
Yep.
You are
Thanks.
the Star Sports
Jatin,
Believe winner.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. And just watching his heart rate right now, it's at 157. And that's when I run at my maximum peak. It's at 157, 160. So you're a superhuman, you're a superman. Congratulations. Thanks. Fantastic.
Congratulations, Jitin. John, thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Thanks, Nikhil.
And it's time now for us to go to the Standard Chartered moment of the day.
To take moment from you.
Thank you.
The Standard Chartered moment of the day is when Jatin came across the line and was grabbed by his friends and hoisted onto their shoulders. Such a fantastic moment. Jatin, you actually skipped across the finish line, didn't you? You danced across the finish line.
No, I crossed the finish line.
Yeah, but you went across dancing, almost dancing.
Right, yeah, because I was so excited to see all my friends on the finish line.
Did seeing your friends at the finish line give you a little burst of energy and inspiration?
Definitely, definitely. They are the source of energy for me.
And I believe they're going to open a bottle of champagne. Are you sharing?
Definitely.
Excellent.
We have got a good party.
Go slow on the champagne. Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Not for me. They all ran 21 half marathon, so they can enjoy. But for me, carbo loading is still time.
Yeah.
So evening party.
Okay, here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, we've had an absolutely fantastic day's racing, and it's time for us now to look back at the day and see the highlights and all the action.
Well, there were races from 5:40 this morning, but the elite athletes got underway at 7:20 a.m. in Mumbai, in the centre of the city. Very, very fast pace as they headed down towards Marine Drive. It's slightly downhill. And of course, the elite African athletes setting a very, very quick tempo through the early kilometres. Every race had the most amazing energy today, whether it was the senior citizens run, the elite athletes, or indeed the masses in their different events, and the celebrities and the billionaires and the actresses and every variety of individuals out there today performing well, giving their all. Really good to see. And the celebrations, and I think the crowds actually today are bigger than I've ever seen before in Mumbai as well, which is another big step forward. It's really positive. Senior citizens, well, some of them, what was the oldest person? 97 years old going into this event. Whether he walked or ran or crawled, it doesn't matter. He was out there taking part. Everyone a winner. Brilliant to see. Meanwhile, out on the roads of Mumbai, the elite athletes were pounding around the streets at near record tempo. The Believe Sextet, as they were out there enjoying their day. Dignesh Mekash was busy retaining her title, the Ethiopian winner from last year, while in the men's race, they poured on the pace mid-race to start approaching course record tempo. Procam, of course, with Anil and Vivek Singh at the helm, have guided this race through from strength to strength over the last 12 years. Today has been another wondrous, joyous festival of running. But the Ethiopians came out on top in both men's and women's races. Dignesh Mekash taking the win, $41,000 for her. And in the men's race, a debutante, Tesfaye Abera, coming out on top as well, leading for the last half hour, constantly glancing over his head. The contrast between his tempo in the final kilometres and some of the other athletes that running today was quite staggering, but he did run himself into the ground. Good running too from the Indian men and women. Fast times for them. The elite Indian men coming home in first place was Karan Singh with 2:21. The three men taking first, second and third in the elite race, getting Seiko watches, of course, their prize money. And well, there you are, sir. Jatin, congratulations. The best celebration of the day for me by a long, long way. Tesfaye Abera, though, was the overall champion, 209.46, ahead of Debele and Kibet. And Michael Mutai there on 2:14 in fourth place. Karan Singh, the best of the Indians, 2:21.35. Pradhan and Dhoni also making it on to the rostrum. Nobody under 2:20 on this occasion, but it was a warm day in Mumbai. Indian running is improving, and certainly the place times were better than last year. In the women's race, Dignesh Mekash and indeed Sichala and Megra making it a 1-2-3 for Ethiopia. The winning time exactly on 2:30, and the prize money going down to 10th place. There was an Indian national record in the women's race. Jaicha OP running 2:37.29 to set a new national record. Brilliant running from her, and a national record which goes back to 1995, broken today.
Like we've been saying, it's been a fantastic day's racing here at the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. And of course, you've been watching all of these pictures on Star Sports. If you've been watching this on television and if you're on Twitter as well, don't forget to use the hashtag SCMM so we can track all of your tweets. Just want to say thank you to all of the people here in the studio. A great pleasure to have you back here again, Tim. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Nikhil. Thank you.
John Abraham, thank you very much for being a part of the race again.
Thank you.
And congratulations to Jatin once again for the Star Sports Believe Award. And of course, we're going to go back now to see the shots of the day. But in the meantime, just want to say thank you to all the people who participated in Mumbai, and of course, the administration and all the people who got together to put this race together, especially Procam.